Yes, guys, you know what time it is. It's your boy David at the Irish Hotspur, Ireland's #1 Spurs fan, Ireland's only answer to Harry Kane, bringing you the Irish Hotspur View with Jack Kineke, Bobspur TV, and Henry from Henry Wright TV as well. It's going to be an absolute cracker of a show. We've got a lot of discussion for today, a lot of questions provided by Jack as usual about Pochettino, the return of Pochettino. I can't confirm that Spurs have been in contact with his representatives. But it's nowhere near a done deal yet, so there's still a long way to go in it. So we'll wait and see how that goes. But look, let's welcome a few people to the stream. But before we do, make sure you do smash a like on the stream. Make sure you smash a subscribe on the channel if you're new. And also, don't be afraid to get them super chats in with your opinions, your views, or questions for the panel. When the chat heats up like it usually does, it guarantees that your comment does get read out and that the panel discuss it. Let's welcome Mr. Edwardson to the stream. Big up, Mr. Edwardson. He says the whole team seems like a Levy psyop, anything to keep the supporters keen and in line. Yeah, that's true. That's a fair comment. G-Mart says if Levy Poch back and treats him well, I'll stop the Levy hate. Viper says I'm really excited. Yeah, we all should be. The Harris show is in town. Of course, it should be. Yeah, Caleb Newsub, he says Poch will convince Kane to stay because they have great chemistry. I hope so. Ian Hunt is in the building. Ian Hurst. Sorry, big yourself up, Ian Hurst. We have Tony89 Hal THFC. We also have Top 943. Big yourself up, and he was enjoying your stream also earlier, Henry. We have Ask Arthur. He says, but we have PSG agreed to let Levy talk to Poch. I don't think they have yet. No, Arthur, they haven't. The thing is, Poch could resign if you really wanted to come back. So we'll wait and see what happens. It's just, roll out of bed again tomorrow and see what's in the news. Sue Smith, sorry, not getting excited until this is confirmed by both parties. Just goes to show how calamitous Levy's decision-making has been.
Big up, Sue.
It has cost us dear. No, big up, Sue. I hope you're keeping well as well. Lucas says, let's be real. The only opinion that matters is Poch's, not Tottenham's. Not PSG's, it's only Poch's if he wants to resign. If he resigns, if he doesn't, he stays. Yeah, 100%, my man. I fully agree with that. Who else have we got in the building? We also have Chris. Good evening, Chris. How are you? Big up, Tin Man. How are you keeping, my man? Good to see you back. Absolute legend. He says, the only thing I worry about if Poch comes back is that I hope he has the ball to get rid of Dyer and Winks. I can't do another season with them. Yeah, I fully agree. Big up Mark Cousins as well. Big up Kevin Murray, absolute legend. Big up Mitch Groves. He says, yes, has been a while. Yeah, big yourself up, man. Stefan Blois is back. He says, anyone other than Poch now will be a disappointment, 100%. Neil G says, hope it's Poch, would like Conte, but fear he would only be here 2 years max and just cannot see him working out with our crap board. No, 100%. I go along the lines with that. Who else have we got? 92 Flamethrower, big yourself up. Big up Carl Simpson. Big up Holly Agambar. How are you keeping?
Big up Holly.
Big up Wesley as well. Who else have we got? We have a super chat in here from Paul Markey. I just want to give, before I get to that, I want to give Philip Brady a quick shout out. Big up Philip. Big up Dean. Big up Jamie. Big up Matthew Baker as well. Big up Terry Wright. We have Lionel Messi. Messi, you're not the GOAT. Ronaldo is the GOAT. We have Keane Fan. We have Alex Burton, Joe Lombardi. Big yourselves up, Pablo. We'll get to the super chat now anyway. Paul Markey says, sorry, Jack. This is your role. Sorry, my man. Take it away.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Paul Markey in here with the first super chat of the show. He says, it's up to Levy to make the Poch deal happen and march that waste of space Hitchin out the door. If he doesn't, he should resign for his error. If you're saying if Levy should resign, I mean, he absolutely should. It's just whether he has the balls or the humble or the humility really to do it. But absolutely agree with you, Paul Markey. I mean, if that were the news we woke up to one day where Levy just decide to hang up the tie, so to speak, then that would probably be the best day as a Spurs fan in my life. Absolutely agree. What do you guys think?
Yeah, basically what you're saying there is that, Hitchin needs to go if Poch is coming in the door. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But apparently Hitchin is campaigning behind the scenes for them to go all out for Pochettino. So we'll wait and see, Paul. But yeah, look, as I do think Hitchin needs to go. Henry and Bobby, any thoughts on this?
Well,
they both need to go. But the fact that Hitchin goes to Italy and comes back with Joe Rodon for me is just I don't get the logic in that, and I never will understand that. Milan Skriniar was the probably top 3 defenders in the league at the time, and we come back with Joe Rodon, who hasn't even seen any football. But is Hitchin a puppet from Levy? Is he just pulling him around? We don't know, and we never will know. But they both have got to go.
Yeah.
Bringing a new director of football, bringing a new chairman, someone that actually gives 2 bells about this football club, because at the moment we're in a crisis, I believe. You know, Kane wants to go potentially. We haven't got a manager, but it's just shambolic, mate. I'll be honest.
100%. Bob?
Yeah, me and Bunky. This is Bunky, by the way. Hello, Bunky. Share the same opinion. Yeah, I've always said about Hitchin. You know, I do cut him a bit of slack purely and simply the fact that we were so close to signing the likes of Grealish and Skriniar, etc. You know, we did. It was a case of, you know, getting the pen on the paper and signing the contract. So Hitchin, for me, probably has done his bit. You know, it just literally fell down when it got to Levy. And how ironic would it be that Hitchin's last job would be to bring Poch in? Oops, he's drunk. He's had a few. But Bunky knows what's going on, but he's not going to say just in case it causes chaos. But yeah, it's a case of getting Poch in, and then whatever he wants, whatever strategy he wants put in place and infrastructure, he needs to be given the full reign because purely and simply, the last time he failed it's been blamed majority on Levy. Oh, Poch didn't make it, but it was Levy's fault. Poch, this time let's put the onus on Poch. He wants to come back and he wants to become a legend. Fine, let him do whatever he wants, and then if he fails, at least there's none of that, you know, pointing the finger elsewhere. Let him have full reign because we've got confidence in him. Just be interested in all the I don't know how many people we got watching, Dave.
Now we have 195 in the house right now, lad.
One word.
Number scroll quick on this channel, lad.
That's it. One word. Poch, Conte, or anyone else, whichever manager.
Or
put it in
Ten
your
Hag.
comments and see. Or Ten Hag, yeah. Just put it in your comments because I want to see the average or what it is between them. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's 90% Poch.
Yeah, I reckon it would be 90% Poch. 100% it will be. But everybody else, keep getting your super chats in, like Paul Markey. Big up Paul Markey. I really do appreciate the super chat, my man. 207 people watching. Make sure you have smashed a like on the channel or a like on the stream and subscribe on the channel. Also, just quickly to let you know, we have frenemies coming up Saturday. Sunday I will be starting a players rating video. Then Monday I'll be putting out Simon Cohen's Spurs story, and then Tuesday I have Arthur, Simon, and Philip all on the channel as well, where they'll all be coming on just sharing their memories and stories of Tottenham over the years. So that's what we have coming up in the foreseeable. But Jack, look, let's start the show, my man.
Yeah, let's get cracking, everybody. Let's get cracking. So we're gonna have to start with the topic, the manager that is hot off the presses. I apologize. We're just getting right into the weeds, getting right into it. And so the question's just gonna start like this. Plenty are correct and right in saying that Pochettino should only come back to our club if he is supported and backed by the board and Levy. But don't you think that Pochettino has also learned from his experience with the Spurs' board and would only accept this job if he is guaranteed more support and trust than he was granted before?
Henry, do you want to start? Do you want to take that one?
Yeah, I'll go straight in. Don't get
Has
me wrong.
Pochettino learned his lesson, basically? Like, you know, he would be demanding a lot of things that he probably never thought to demand before. And he is, so to speak, more of a marquee manager now, and he is maybe a bit wanted. So, you know, he probably is a smart enough man to ask for the right things. And so if he gets the job, don't you think that maybe assures that maybe we are getting some possibly, you know, some reinvigoration via Levy or the board?
Yeah, I think spot on, really. It all changed for me when he said in his press conference, I can't remember which game it was, and he said, "Don't call me the manager anymore, call me the head coach."
Yeah, coach.
And that was the point where I kind of went, he's not happy anymore. You know, you have to understand, when you're working with someone like Daniel Levy, don't get me wrong, he's a fantastic negotiator and he's very good at the financial side of things. Just stay away from the football. You don't have a football brain. Pochettino is the best manager we've had in the Premier League era. We had 2 title challenges, Champions League final, FA Cup semi-finals. If he comes back, you've got to let him have full reign, and you bring in a competent director of football who works alongside Poch, and just goes, right, okay, this is what we want. If we're working together, we're going in the right direction. He's got to have full reign. None of this going out and buying Sissoko and then giving him 3-year contracts at the age of 29, or going out and buying Steven Bergwijn and let him sit on the bench, or buying flipping Roden and not getting any game time. He needs full reign. Literally, echo that. He needs full reign of everything. He's a manager, for Christ's sake. He's not a coach. You've got coaches. You've got striking coaches, goalkeeper coaches, midfielders that do their jobs. Let him do what he's got to do, and then hold the trophy at the end. That's the way I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a super chat in here though from Paul Markey. Thank you again, Paul Markey, for yet again another super chat. He said Conte is like Jose defensively and confrontational, not what we need or want. I kind of in a way can agree with you there, Paul, but at the end of the day, there's no better manager on the touchline screaming and shouting at his players than Conte.
Yeah.
I mean, he will absolutely light a fire.
You have to remember though, the likes of Harry Stinks, Dele Alli,
he would
Ben
run
Davies,
onto the field and chase
Mr.
after him
Anonymous.
himself.
A lot of these players, they need an arm around the shoulder, need a little cuddle, tell them everything's all right. That's what half of our fan base believe. They say to me, "Oh, leave them alone. Just leave them alone. You don't know what's going on." I couldn't give a shit what's going on in their life at the end of the day. They're overpaid punters, you know what I mean? Over 100 grand a week, and you think I should care about what's going on in personal life? I couldn't give a crap, to be honest with you. They're here to perform for Tottenham, and that's what I care about. But sorry, back to the question, Bob. You want to answer Jack's question?
Yeah, following. No, fine. Following from that as well, Dave. What you just said. If you haven't got the mentality to deal with to separate your outside life with being a professional footballer in the Premier League, then you're not cut out to be a Premier League footballer in my eyes. So echo that. The only 100%. Thing that worries me about Pochettino, and I know you're spot on, Henry. Everything you've just said, mate. Comes in, he needs to have full, basically overlook everything and have his own way. The only thing that worries me is him and Levy are pretty close. They've got on really well. They're still chummy. They still text each other every day. It's been said. And Pochettino, we all know he loves Spurs. He's just happy to be there. So I don't know if he would make as many demands as a Conte or a Ten Hag would. Because
to clarify, Bob, do you think like he's almost too lovey-dovey or too naive almost just because of his passion? He's almost too conflicted because of that passion where he couldn't vouch for himself, so to speak.
He is that softer personality that Levy wants to work with.
That killed me. As soon as I seen that, I felt like banging my head off a wall. I'm not messing. Mate, it sums up Tottenham. Soft.
Yeah, but that could be perceived as Pochettino coming back to Levy. Does he have the balls to go in there and say, right, Levy, I know we get on, mate, but I need this.
No, I don't think he does.
Can you have a guy do that for him, though, Bob?
Sorry, mate?
Can you have a guy do that for him, though? His agent or his brother, family member?
Well, possibly. But, if the manager wants to be in control, it needs to come from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Hence a reason, as much as I would like Conte, we were talking about it off stream. Conte would be ideal, but it's too big a personality for Levy, and we all know Levy likes yes men, and unfortunately, Poch could be a yes man, which
one of the best there was.
Do you know what though? I believe Poch has a lot more of a bargaining chip this time round, because a lot of the fans, if he comes back, are all going to be on Poch's side, despite what Levy says. If Poch says different, so everything is in Poch's hands right now. The putty is in his hands, and for me, I think, first of all, I don't think he's stupid enough, but it's criminal if he comes back without being assured at least 200 million to spend in the transfer window, knowing that Kane is staying, and that he has full reign over where that money's spent, and that's it. And I honestly can't see him not coming back to Tottenham unless that's in place. Maybe not 200 million, but at least 100, 150 million.
But you reckon he's got the balls to demand that, though?
That in place. And let me tell you why. It's because a lot of these players that are still here threw him under the bus. They were never really a part of his main squad. The likes of Dyer, Winks only came in when Dembele and Wanyama left. Players like that. Ben Davies, all them sort of players. When he had to rely on them, and they're, when they came in because of players we were selling and not replacing properly, when he had to rely on these boys, they ultimately let him down. And there's no way he's coming back to Tottenham unless he has assurances that he's allowed to A, clear them out, but B, replace them adequately and replace them in the style and philosophy that he wants to go going forward. So I think everything's in Pochettino's hands. Like, look, if it's a case it comes out in the end, he turns down Tottenham because he really wants the Real Madrid job, fair enough. But if it turns out he turned down Tottenham because, Daniel Levy wouldn't give him the assurances, honestly, everyone that was in Enoch out beforehand will be after this. So he has to tread very, very carefully here. So if Daniel Levy is entering negotiations with Pochettino, he's just going to have to give Pochettino what he wants. He cannot afford Pochettino coming out and saying in the press, well, they didn't give me assurances, this, that, and the other. So I think if Pochettino is coming back, it's on the guarantees that he's allowed to work the way he wants to work.
We know he needs the assurances, Dave, and I know you're spot on, mate. Needs the assurances and needs the guarantees, etc. But has he got the balls to ask for it? That's what the worry is. Has he got the balls to go?
Yeah, but David is saying, right, the ball's in his court though, regardless, right? So the ball's in his court. So even if he is a quote unquote softer personality, he still has the decision. He still gets to make the decisions. So he can continue with PSG. He can maybe look at even a different managerial job other than Tottenham. He has plenty of decisions at his disposal where he probably wouldn't feel so pressured. And then also, in my opinion, like I said, if he really wanted to make strong demands and if he wasn't really fully capable of it himself, he can have someone do it on his behalf. And, if the ball's in his court, and Levy probably will recognize that, Levy might succumb. But we had a super chat, I think, from Stefan Blois, David.
Go on, do the super chat.
I'll get to that now. Big up Keith may be right as well. He says, I'm not Enoch out yet. I get so many people are. But this is my last chance for them. Get this right or I'm done with the both of them. See, I told you. There's so many people that are craving for Pochettino to come back. Yeah. And that if it doesn't happen, it's completely on Daniel Levy and everyone will turn against him. Did you say this one from Daniel Blois?
From Stefan Blois, yeah.
Stefan. Oh yeah.
Stefan Blois here. Thank you, Stefan. He says, give Poch the power Sir Alex had at United. That would be absolutely ideal, Stefan. Absolutely ideal.
Good old days.
Is that even possible?
That's where football's gone wrong. Yeah. Like a lot of team, right? So, you had Arsenal who believed in Wenger. You had United who believed in Sir Alex. And look at the rewards they got out of the dynasty. Although Arsenal fans complained about Wenger, look what he done for them. They didn't realise it. They were too ungrateful. They were too spoiled. By the way, may I add, it's absolutely brilliant that one fight and Unai Emery have come together, just to win the Europa League. So good evening, any Arsenal fans that are watching, by the way. Good evening. It's fantastic for me last night. It was. I'm not going to lie. I had an erection watching that. But, the thing is, all of a sudden then, football went through a period where it was like, no, just get rid of the one guy, get the next guy in. Now, all of a sudden, people are now starting to try and build these 4 or 5 year long-term plans. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of new, like it's revolutionary, but it's not. You give a manager a philosophy, you give him, full power. So there's no running behind his back to the board or going to Daniel and saying, oh, he's working me too hard, honestly. And I get paid $100,000 a week and I sleep comfortable at night, but he works me too hard. Go and work in a factory, you prick. That's what I say. But, none of that. You need manager to have full control. And that's it. Manager, if he feels a player is not up to it anymore, let him get rid. Let him replace them. That's what we need to go back to. But big up Stefan Blois as well for the super chat.
Daniel Smith here with the super chat. He says, profit before glory, Enoch out. Great content, lads. Thank you, Daniel Smith. You're absolutely speaking verses. You're preaching here. And thank you for the super chat. I couldn't say it better myself in such shorter words. So beautifully said, Daniel.
Yeah. Big up, Daniel Smith. Hope you're subscribed as well to the channel. There is 284 people watching. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you do smash a like on the stream. Also, the link for all these boys' channels and social media is in the description below. Feel free to, pop in, pop out. Make sure you smash a sub on their button. And also, the chat is flying. I am struggling to keep up and keep the conversation going. So, if you genuinely want your comment discussed or read out or anything like that, get a super chat in. Plus, it's a great way to help support the Irish Hotspur, over the summer, right through to the Premier League. It's a great way to support the channel. So make sure you do get them in, guys. They are greatly, greatly appreciated. But Jack,
yeah, we had.
Sorry?
I thought we had some beautiful answers on the first one there. I think we can move on to the second one. It's still Poch related, guys, so you're going to have to stick with it here. But let us know.
This is what they're here for. This is what
that's what we're here for. But let us know in the comments what you guys think on. I mean, would Poch really be on the first question? Is Poch going to be big enough to ask for the right things? Let us know in the comments. Is he going to be big enough to stand up to Levy and stand up to Enoch and ask for the right things in order for him to be respected, but also ensured success? So let us know.
You don't think, Henry, do you? You're kind of with me, aren't you, Henry? No.
The thing is, like, I don't want to upset people, but this is the absolute truth.
Don't want to upset people, but I am.
This is going to trigger a lot of people. I'll take it as short as I can. Every time we got to a big game of Pochettino, he messed something up in the game management. The Champions League final, why are you not starting Lucas Moura? FA Cup semi-final, why are you playing left wing back? The time he took out of the game, he might obviously. I think he's learned that he's looked at the mistakes and gone, right, okay, I should have done this different. But you've just come second in Ligue 1 to Lille, where they've got a 35-year-old striker in Yilmaz who's just outscored Mbappe. And then
Henry, I have a theory on that, right? And with the way Pochettino works, Pochettino has to be able to bring in hungry players that he can improve and take to the next level, right? I've always said this. I've said this a number of times. Pochettino going to PSG, I didn't think was going to work out because he's not going to be able to get Mbappe, Neymar, Verratti, players like that to be able to train the way he wants to train. They're too busy out there partying, smoking cigars with the president and whatever else. He was never, ever going in there and being able to get them to train the way. What you need to do with Pochettino is give him the very best youngsters, and he will make a sublime team. Trust me, he'll make a brilliant team. But sending him out like Neymar, and he's walking into a situation, kind of what he left at Tottenham, where players have the power.
Yeah.
And like with Tottenham, it was easy to get the likes of Harry Kane, Son, all them players to believe in him because they were young and hungry. Walking into PSG when you have Neymar and Mbappe there,
but
they just do what they want.
You've got 350 million in those two players. That is 4 times the amount of all of Lille's starting 11. You can't. Any manager in the Premier League,
it comes down to work ethic, though, as well. At some point, Henry,
the Lille players
probably wanted it more. They worked hard.
If you look at the football you played against Bayern Munich and Barcelona, are coming out from the back, high press. That's what we saw at Spurs. The issue is, whenever we get to the point where we're there, obviously Daniel Levy needs to put more money in, but whenever we get to that point, something seriously goes wrong. Now you look at Antonio Conte, if you judge him of what he's just done, and you judge what Poch has just done, Antonio Conte made the Europa League final and lost to Sevilla, right, who are kings of the Europa League. Let's not get it twisted. And he's just won the league title by 10 points in a league that has been dominated by Juventus for the last 8 years. He's got Lukaku scoring 30 goals a season. He's got the best out of players like Ashley Young, Victor Moses, that are far from their best now. If you're looking at the two, if you're looking at Poch and Conte, it's all to do with what your head wants and what your heart wants.
Where were PSG when Poch took over?
They won the league, didn't they? When Thomas Tuchel left.
Yeah,
but they were significant points and behind.
So if anything,
you had to make up some
points. They kind of gone backwards under Poch.
But then also, I would say in this year, even though Antonio Conte wouldn't take anything away from this league title, he did win it against Andrea Pirlo, who just got his coaching badges maybe 2 minutes before he had to coach his first game. And then on top of that, Antonio Conte was 4th in Champions League group stages with Shakhtar Donetsk, Real Madrid, and then themselves. And so he really didn't have Champions League or anything to worry about after that. So, he did have, essentially just domestic league games and domestic cup games, since like October pretty much left. So it wasn't as impressive as some might maybe hype it up to be.
And they were knocked out in the Champions League against probably the best Man City team we've seen. And despite that, for the first half an hour in the first leg, they they out Man City, didn't they? They were all over him for a bit. So I couldn't really see what kind of, and Mbappe obviously was injured as well. So, but the fact that the thing that bugs me, like you say, Henry, is the fact that he couldn't really muscle in first place in Ligue 1.
I mean, like, if you look at the quality of the Serie A, Juventus, Atalanta, AC Milan, Roma, Lazio, then you look at Inter. Then you look at PSG, Monaco, Lyon, Marseille. There's no comparison. The Italian league dominates the French league over even some of the games that going away to Napoli as well. We forgot to mention them. Roma, I get he didn't do well in the Champions League, but finishing that league and winning the title with Inter Milan, the last person to do it was Mourinho in 2010. So 11 years.
But
so
how many Serie A teams made it past the quarterfinals this year?
Well, none of them did they? Only one French team did. Yeah,
but I agree with you. I mean, the Serie A is a better league, but the Serie A is actually almost really on the decline at the moment. While the Ligue 1, even though they're taking huge financial hits, that is where all the best players are coming out of. That's where Wesley Fofana is coming out of. That's where the Camavingas are coming out of. It's really where, in the last 10 years, some of the best players have originally started. So it is where you actually want to look for your players. It is a bit of a farmer's league, but it is where you want to look for the right players for the future. And they have been improving, I think, steadily over time. And I think the Serie A has actually gotten progressively worse. It is actually a great league to watch, but it has actually gotten progressively worse if you compare it to the rest of the other leagues.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So we got a super chat, though, from Jordan Stevens here. He says, had time to think about it. While I love Poch and want him back someday, it's too early for me. Excitement will overshadow big issues at the club, in my opinion. I mean, I'm already way too excited, Jordan Stevens. I mean, I'm as blind as a bat right now with Poch. So, I mean, you're exactly right. You got me red-handed.
Yeah. No, look, I'm not going to lie. I was excited too. I actually won't say what I was going to say. But yeah, I'm very excited. Believe me, Jordan, I'm very excited. But I agree with you. It will cover up a lot of the issues. If Levy pulls this masterstroke and gets him in, it quells the in-account movement. I'll be honest with you. I do think it will. I think it will. I genuinely think it'll lose a lot of traction. If it doesn't happen, it's going to inflame the in-account movement.
It's going to intensify, isn't it?
Big flames for Daniel Levy to be playing with. He better have the whole of the London Fire Brigade on standby to put them out, honestly. Because it's big flames for him to be playing with, Jordan. But yeah, no, I agree with you. It'll overshadow how shit some of these players are as well. I couldn't agree more. Big up, Jordan, for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. We've 2 more super chats to get to, and I'm going to get on to Jack's next question.
Yeah, we got a super chat in here from TK. Big up, TK. He says, hi, guys. I want Poch back. End of. We are the 8th richest club in the world. Spend money. Get first or second choice players or Enoch out. I mean, like Bob said, even with Joe Lewis's returns recently from the last year, there really is no excuse for no investment. But, at the end of the day, they just have to look at themselves in the mirror and just ask themselves whether they want to be a good club or not and whether they want to invest. But you're absolutely right, TK.
No, 100% TK. Perfect there. You said 8th richest club in the world. Enoch have made profits over the pandemic. Even though they wanted to furlough people on the taxpayers' money, they still made profits. So I don't hear any excuses. And if City and PSG can get away with financial fair play, then why can't Tottenham too? So I don't want to hear any more of that shit anymore. And one more here as well.
Brandon Sebastian says, motivated back, Aaron, Max Aarons, Joe Rodon, Tanya, is that Tanganga?
Tanganga.
Yeah, Tanganga, Anderson, Region. I mean, that would be pretty ideal. I mean, Max Aarons, I think with him being promoted, though, from the championship, there definitely will be that nice promoted English youth tax, probably a bunch of taxes laid on top of each other for the fee, but he is absolutely quality. And no matter really the price, I think he is quality, but he might be a little expensive compared to some other options. But like I said, very quality. But the rest of it, Anderson, I think would be an absolute steal for 20 million.
Yeah, he's also come out. Apparently, he's come out and said, he's preferred destination is Tottenham as well.
Yeah.
So we'll wait and see on the Anderson. Like the thinking Sebastian, but I don't like playing 5 at the back. I do think it's very defensive. I would rather see a 4 at the back. You know, with the way Pochettino used to play the 4-2-3-1, that suits me right down to the ground. It's absolutely perfect. Big up for the super chat. So one more here, and then we'll get on to Jacko's next question. Just quickly, guys, I want to say a big up to Jordan Stevens, big up to Sebastian, and big up TK for the super chats. Really do appreciate it, guys. The chat is hopping. I will try and get everybody's comment up on screen. You want your comments read out, discussed, or anything else? Super chat is the way to go when the chat heats up like this. And Jacko.
Yeah, like David said, though, you know, we really appreciate the super chats. We understand, you know, if you can't put them in, we'll try our best to get you in the live chat. But when the chat is flying, absolutely, it is hard to keep up. But we got yet again another.
Smash the subscribe on the channel and a like on the stream as well, and on bobspur and Henry Wright. And follow Jack on Twitter if you can't put in super chats. It's all free and it's perfect. It's free to do. And we'll take this and then we've one more to get to.
Thank you, David. Well said. We got a super chat yet again from TK. Big yourself up, TK. He says, Joe Lewis made $383 million according to the Sunday Times rich list last week. Pay off the $175 million loan to government and give Poch $100 million. I mean, that would be nice. I think we should only leave him at maybe about $5 and a pound of chips, or a bag of chips left over, considering that he made that much money over the pandemic. I mean, people who
still
make
leave him over 100 million, the greedy fucker. What more does he want? He already has his yachts. He already has everything else. You know what I mean? What more does he want? Still leaves him with over 100 million. I like your thinking, TK.
Yeah,
I like your thinking.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, TK, to be honest with you, he'd probably put in, gold rails on the skywalk or whatever he can do. You know what I mean? Gold taps in the toilets or something like that. To appease fans and make the match day experience even more better. That's what's going to happen, TK. But love that super chat. It's completely exposing them for the frauds they are, TK. You're a legend, my man. Yeah. And then last one here, and then we'll get on to Jack's next question. And big up Crest for this donation, my man.
Yeah, we got a very generous super chat here from Crest, and fantastic name, by the way, Crest. Don't feel like we have played fluently since Modric left. Dembele had fantastic features, but we need a player in the middle who can distribute the balls. What do you guys think about our midfield? I mean, Crest, you really said it perfectly. I think, with Højbjerg, I'll say it quickly. With Højbjerg, he's kind of like that Pepe. He's like that master of the dark arts. He'll take down anybody, and he loves that physical contact where he won't shy away from any challenge. But, the passing game, he really, if you look at him statistically, he's actually done quite well this season. But if you're relying on him to both make the tackles and do all the dirty work and make the passing as well and the development of play, it's a little too much for him at times. And so you're exactly right. We need that Modric. We need that Dembele right next to him who loves to get stuck in, but also loves to carry the ball forward and help him out.
Yeah, look, basically what Crest is kind of alluding there, just to sum it up, is he's looking for a player that can dictate the tempo of the play. Mm-hmm. A player like Michael Carrick, a player like Pirlo, a player like Modric used to do, even Moussa Dembele. A player that knows when to speed it up, knows when to slow it down. An absolute baller in midfield who has the vision and who has the ability also to be able to spray it left, right, over the top, 2 feet, 1-2s, right the way through the middle, mix it up, just a bit like Jack Grealish knows how to do. So big up, Crest. Really do appreciate that super chat, my man. And just quickly, Priyash, I have to give props to my man bobspur here for the thumbnail. It is absolutely fire. Absolutely love it. But big up Crest. What a super chat. And big up TK, you legends. Thank you so much, guys. And keep getting them super chats in. Jacko, fire on the next question, my man.
Okay, yeah. So with if Poch is coming in, do you see Kane and Sonny staying this next season under Pochettino? Like, is he able to kind of woo them back into kind of the Tottenham love and kind of into the Tottenham environment again? And there's kind of a follow-up to this as well. Kind of consider this as well. With Kane's interview with Neville in mind, it's kind of been commonly seen as like a request to leave, but maybe kind of considering Poch coming, could it instead be interpreted as a demand for Levy to invest in the club in order for him to stay?
That's one thing that not worries me, but I wouldn't be surprised if Levy goes, look, come in, Poch, you're going to be given 200 plus to spend on players, but we will need to sell Kane. And I do believe Poch is a kind of person who'd sit back and contemplate it. For us, it's a no-no, definitely no-no. But because they've got on so well, and they can have an open conversation, and they've gone on record to say that they text each other every day. Levy could turn around and say, "Look, we're going to get 150 for Kane. We'll get another 50, 60, 70 from selling other people, and I'll chuck in another 80 or so, which will give you a transfer budget of 250 and you can do whatever you want with it. Is that more of a pulling power than keeping Kane? I don't know. That's a dilemma that only Poch will have to sort out. But I do think that if Levy did come out with that, and he said to him, Poch, this is the only way, mate. Give us a hand, help us out. You know, the emotion, because Poch is an emotional man, being South American and everything. I wouldn't be surprised if he thought, oh, okay, fair enough.
I mean, Henry, could Poch go, could he take Kane and Sonny out to a nice Argentinian steakhouse? Could he woo them back into the Tottenham light, make them, kind of see the light, despite all the trauma they've undergone, could he make them, maybe, give Tottenham another chance?
Of course, it's up to Kane as well, isn't it, Henry? If he fancies with Poch again.
Argentinian or Argentine steak is absolutely 10 out of 10. But I don't think if you bring in Conte, Ten Hag, Poch, I think he wants to go. At the end of the day, I've said it and I've said it before, I'm a bit of a realist. This man's a world-class player. He wants trophies. If you don't back whoever comes in now, we're going to go further and further down. This man wants to win the league title. He wants to be in the Champions League. We can't offer what you want. And our fans, as harsh as it is, as bad as it is, when we got rid of Gareth Bale, it was like a dagger in the back. It was like our best player who carried us that year. When Kane goes, 10 times worse. Cut through the academy. He's one of our own. He's the best player we've had in probably 30, 40 years. He's on target to beat Jimmy Greaves' record. He is a phenomenal player. And at the end of the day, this happens. I'll put it into perspective, right? When Man United won the Champions League in 2008, Rooney went in the next day and said, you need to invest. Alex Ferguson goes out and buys a couple of players. If we go and win the FA Cup, Levy will drain every ounce from this football club. We get to finals and he just, look at the Gareth Bale money. Nasser Chadley, Chiriches, Soldado, Eric Lamela. If we sell Harry Kane, do you think we're going to bring in world-class talent? But getting back to your question, I don't think even Poch. I think he might be able to keep Son. But I think Kane, he wants out. He knows what the club's like. He can see we're slowly going down. 2018 Champions League final, 2021 Conference League.
So Henry thinks the Argentinian steak isn't good enough to convince Kane or Sonny. But David, what do you think?
Just quickly there.
Yeah.
Philip put in a comment there, and I think it's a brilliant comment, to be honest with you. He's saying, the Pochettino rumours keep flirting around until the season ticket renewals are done. And then after that, they'll announce Potter. So do not fall for it. Do not renew the season tickets until we know who the manager is.
Yeah.
Stamp your foot down. That's what I say.
Don't fall for Pochettino.
Yeah, Pochettino.
Pochettino.
My theory is I think it'll be a masterstroke. I do believe Pochettino will be able to come in and get Harry Kane to stay and get Son to stay, because as I've stated before, and the reason why is I genuinely don't believe Pochettino is coming back into Tottenham without the assurances of having money there to spend and Spurs going out and getting his targets. So, he can come in, he can tell Harry Kane, look, this is who we're going to get. This is my plans going forward. And maybe Kane doesn't see it as another... Look, obviously it's going to be a one-year project because we're in the Europa Conference League. So next year is going to be a bit of a project season, But at the same time, we do need to finish top four. Pochettino will probably give us the best base on that, based on the way he trains these players and the fitness of these players, the way how fit they were underneath him. Because under Pochettino, we just outrun a lot of teams. We outrun a lot of teams.
Yeah,
and when you outrun a lot of teams, you make it difficult for them. Because they don't want to match your running. They don't want to match your running. In the end, they give up. They try taking the short options out, passing it. Then they end up passing it into trouble. Tottenham were taking it off them when we were clinical and we were able to put them to bed. So with Pochettino coming back, we'll be able to outrun a lot of teams next year. So Pochettino will come back. I do think we'll get top four, along with players that he will want to come in with him. And I think it will be enough to definitely keep Son. 100% he'll keep Son. And I definitely think it'll be enough to keep Harry Kane here. I really do. I really do. Because at the end of the day, I think there's only two managers. I think it's either Pochettino return or Conte that'll be able to keep Harry Kane. And the reason why I say Conte is because Conte just walk in, you say, look, I'm not coming here unless you give me assurances you're not selling Kane for one more season. So that's why I say them two managers. Henry, just before I let you in there, man, we just take this super chat.
Yeah, we got a super chat yet again from Brandon Sebastian. Thank you again, Brandon Sebastian. He says, big ass Poch. Big ass Poch gets full control. Kane stays. Refresh the squad. We are looking at top 4 in trophy. If Kane leaves, we are seriously looking at relegation. Or relegation.
Relegation.
Yeah.
I always love that autocorrect.
Regulation, I suppose, yeah.
I just want to say, Brandon, I fully agree with you, my man. You know, I know you're saying it's a big ask that Poch gets full control, but honestly, I think the man would be stupid to walk back in here without having more control over the transfers and what's coming in, because the thing is, when we have Pochettino, I do believe that, you know, the board kind of took him for granted a bit, and we're kind of like, well, look, you know, he was only manager of Southampton. We've given him the platform to succeed, but he's not a massive manager. I firmly believe the board thought that. Like, he's not a massive manager, so we can kind of bully him, tell him what players are coming in. But this time around, since he's at the taste of PSG, it's going to be different, Brandon. So I do believe that, he'd be very stupid and naive to walk in here without having more say in the transfers, because ultimately that's what killed him. He wanted to rebuild. The board didn't want to do it. So it'd be naive of him to do it. And I do believe 100%, I believe we have to refresh the team. Otherwise, we are looking at a long, hard season. Big up, Brandon. I really appreciate the super chat, and I fully agree with it. And we've one more here from Dark Sun G21. Big up, brother. How are you, my man?
Yes, Dark.
Yeah, how are you, Dark Sun G? Thank you for the super chat. He says, the only thing that Coco is good at is speeding while driving. He should become an F1 racer. If we get Poch, he can use the promising youths coming in. I mean, Dark Sun G, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think we have a couple of players in our squad that are probably pretty good at the racing. I think, you know, the Premier League players these days, they're getting a lot of speeding tickets. So it'll be actually a fascinating race. But if we do get Poch, I mean, I think he, you know, maybe in comparison to Conte, he could get maybe more out of the youth. He could get more of the guys that we have in the depths of our squad. But then again, Conte has made master strokes with players like Moses that Henry said before. So it's really kind of a toss-up.
Yeah, 100%. And look, you know, with the youth coming in, it's a... You know, obviously, look, Sessegnon, Skip and all, if Poch comes in, I do believe they'll stay and they'll be used in and around the squad. I do believe that Poch was a big fan of Skip, but a very big fan of Skip. He used to bring him on and try and get him Premier League experience and everything else. But, like, you know, to ask the likes of Dane Scarlett, Alfie Devine, players like that step in, you know, even Lavinier, you know, I think it's a massive, massive ask. And I do think you're asking for trouble if you're relying on them week in, week out, my man. Look, Coco, I fully agree with you. We need to get rid of him. Big up Dark Sun G, my man, and I hope you're keeping well. And then we've one more to get to, and it's just James Watson here. He says, "Great show, lads.
Big up, James.
Spurs. Big up, James. I really do appreciate it." And look, the numbers are reflecting that. We've 333 people watching right now.
Wow.
Make sure you have smashed a like on the stream, subscribe
Fantastic.
on the channel. You know, the reason why it's important to smash a like on every Spurs content creator stream is because it really does help with the YouTube algorithm. You know, and especially when the streams are finished, put your comments in underneath. Even if it's just, oh, great stream, lads, or a thumbs up, or come on, you Spurs. It really does help everybody. And big up James Watson for the super chat, my man. I really do appreciate it. And everybody else, keep getting them in. And also, while you're at, if you agree with what Bob and Henry has to say here today, guys, you know, the link for their channel is below. Make sure you get over and smash that subscribe button. You know, it's well worth it. The boys are absolutely brilliant. Henry, I know you had one thing there to say. I think you were disagreeing with me. And after you have your say, we'll let Jack get on with another question, my man.
It's not I'm disagreeing with you. Whatever, everyone's, you know, everyone's entitled to opinion. And everyone's right in their own way. The situation.
No, look, you're allowed to disagree with me, lad. It's fine.
The situation we've got now is the team Poch. Right, this is gonna. I don't want to come across negative again, but the team Poch had at the time, you know, Kane obviously thinking if we couldn't win with the likes of Prime Rose, Prime Walker, Toby, Jan, Dembele, Wanyama, how are we going to win with Dyer, Winks, Davis, all of these clowns? And if you think that Daniel Levy is just going to fork out 200 million unless we sell Kane, we are delusional. There is no way. We are 7th in the league. We've only got 20 million from where we are, and Joe Lewis isn't going to go, oh, there's 200 million. We've got to sell Kane if we want to rebuild.
But the thing is, Henry, you know, he's playing with fire right now with the fans. Like, you know, even the fans that managed to get to pay €60 to go to the stadium. Look how disgruntled they were after it. You know, he's not going to be able to keep selling that crap for much longer, and he knows that.
People will still pay for it. Whether you're Enikin or Enik out, you go there to support the boys. The problem we have is, right, the problem we have is, at the end of the day, they don't care about fans. They are an investment firm. They want to earn money, and they will keep earning money every single year. Whether it's mums and dads going and buy their sons the latest merch, whether it's pissheads that are going and buying 7 or 8 Heinekens and getting on it in a conference game, there's always going to be a profit.
Or a protest.
I get what you're saying there, Henry, right? I fully get what you're saying, and I agree with you. But the thing is, right, with this Pochettino, it really is playing with fire, because if it doesn't land, right, and they announce someone like Harry Potter, the people that do go to the stadiums and everything else, I'm telling you, right, they're not going to sell as much tickets. People will end up stop buying in the club shop. People like the money that people are spending now will become less and less and less.
Yeah.
They're not going to be able to keep selling us that crap for much longer. Fans are waking up, and that's down to, you know, the likes of We Are Tottenham TV, yourself, Henry, Bob, myself, Will Stewart, a lot of other content creators. You know, a lot of fans are starting to wake up. And the thing is, the reason why I do think there's going to be money there is because, yeah, they're an investment firm. But the thing is, you know, their profits are going to take a massive hit come this season if they don't do it, if they don't put money in. You know, because they're not going to be able to sell the new jersey as widely as they thought. They're not going to be able to sell the games as badly as they thought, especially if things go wrong at the start of the season. So, you know, in terms of what they could make if they do this short-term investment, long-term gain, they're going to make a lot more by doing it. If they keep playing and rolling the dice the way they are, it's only going to end in one way. And they're either going to have to sell up, which is what the fans want anyway, or they're going to have to change their business model. But they're going to have to do it this summer before it's too late. That's just my thinking on it. But I fully get what you're saying, and I fully agree with you, Henry. There's always going to be people that are, you know, are still going to buy stuff for the kids and everything else.
What is it, 40, 50,000 waiting list?
Yeah, 40,000. Yeah.
So if you take 40,000 ENIC out, 40,000 ENIC in just come in. We can't. If Kane goes in the summer, that is a protest on its own. I don't care what anyone says. We should be down there. It will be Gareth Bale all over again. And then it will be Son. Because if the problem is, if Kane goes, Son's going to be afterwards.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
100%.
I'll certainly get demotivated. I've got something, but I don't know. Do you want to do the super chat first, Jack? Or
I'll do super chats there, and then we'll let Bob in with his say, and then we'll get on to more questions.
We got yet again another super chat from Dark Sun G. He says we can use youths at the Europa Conference League, rest our first team. I think we absolutely should, because the games are all going to be played on a Thursday night in the wet, cold regions of the world, of the outskirts of Europe, and I don't even know if like the manager will even be able to, you know, make it down to coach the game, and then also still be able to manage the players and train the players for the upcoming Premier League game over the weekend. I think you almost need 2 managers practically for these these 2 leagues.
Look, it's a bit like the Europa League in a way, because you can use the earlier rounds, you know, to blood your youth, you know, give game time to your squad players to get them up to speed, or anyone coming back from injuries. So in that aspect, you know,
do you send the manager even though?
And it's just about getting the easier teams all the way through the competition for me, because then you can concentrate on the league with your main squad and keep getting the side men to play that role. So big up, Dark Sun G. I really do appreciate the super chat, my man. Absolute legend. And then we have one more here, and then we'll let Bob Spur back in.
We have one from Brian C. Big up, Brian C. He says Poch plus financial banking or backing plus control over transfers equals trophies. It's a magic formula, so no need for Harry Potter, because if we can get Poch, he's magic, you know. Delusionally optimistic here. No, you're not at all. Believe me. Like I said, I'm as blind as a bat the moment I saw the news today. You know, I'm thinking all these hypotheticals that I'm not really going as far as to think that Levy would change, but, you know, I'm almost thinking that, you know, he's kind of thinking selfishly, and the way that he's thinking selfishly here is actually in a way it might be benefiting us. So, you know, it's a, you know, I'm thinking optimistically here, just like you, Brian C. But thank you very much for the very generous super chat.
First of all, I just want to say to Brian C., he's an absolute legend. I do speak to this guy on Twitter. Brian, I want to see the face behind the name. You have to drop me a promise that you will come on one of these, one of my fan shows, and that I really do. You know, I want to listen to you and speak to you and hear what you have to say. I reckon you're a gem of a guest. That's my opinion. I'm never too far wrong. But big up, Brian C. I fully agree with you. You know, a winning formula. One thing I will say is, I I want to be selfish and I want to keep Kane as part of the next project if Pochettino is in charge. You know, for me, it'll never feel the same without Harry Kane. Everyone knows how much I love him. So, Brian, you know, I agree with everything you say there, apart from letting Harry Kane go. We have to keep Harry Kane, my man. And I agree, no need for Harry Potter or the fans to be playing Quidditch around the stadium when the game's going on, because the moon boots is fucking up left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
But big up Brian C, what a legend. And then just one more to get to here. Sorry, Bob. And it's from another legend of the channel, Russian Bear.
Yes,
yeah, Russian Bear, an absolute legend with a very nice super chat here. He says, I can see Conte coming with assurance that if Kane is sold, then we will look to sign Lukaku and Skriniar. Inter are in major debt and need the money. I mean, that would not be a bad trade. And believe me, that would be lovely to see Lukaku. Yeah.
Hakimi would be a great shout.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, take the whole Inter squad practically. Take them with us, you know, replace Winks. You know, put in Vidal, even Vidal at 38 years old probably could do a better job than Winksy. And then, I mean, absolutely. I think Lukaku, if he came back to the Premier League, if he came to Spurs, he'd be playing week in, week out. He'd be hungry, you know, and with Skriniar as well. I mean, I think he'd also be absolutely world class. That'd be, you know, not a bad trade if we also got Conte as well.
Yeah.
Great point there as well, Russian Bear. You know, we could definitely hit up, you know, Inter for a cheaper deal on Skriniar now, because the owners that own Inter also own the team that won the Chinese Super League, and you know they're also in financial difficulty and everything else. So there's a lot going on there. So we can definitely pick off Inter. And just one more super chat here, and then we will let Bob in because I know he had something to say.
Yet again, another one from Dark Sun G. Very generous of you, Dark Sun G. He says, didn't Poch bring Son to Spurs? We need his eyes. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, Poch could also be the Hitchin. Maybe he can be the director of football as well, partially. Absolutely.
Yeah. Big up Dark Sun G21. Big up Brian C. And big up Russian Bear. You're all legends. Thank you so much. Everyone else, keep getting those super chats in with your questions, thoughts, views for the panel. Do you want Poch? Do you not want Poch? In fact, I want to see someone say they don't want Poch and tell me why. I know Henry has already given me a decent reason. But I want to see if there's anyone else out there.
I don't want Poch. I haven't said I don't want Poch. I just don't want Poch to come in and not be backed, and then he's crucified again. That's the point I'm making. For anyone,
he doesn't want his friend to be hurt. He doesn't want his friend to be hurt.
330 people jump my back, and I'm sitting there getting battered.
He's just looking out for his buddy. He's just looking out for his buddy Poch.
Sorry, we'll let Bob have his say. Bob did have something he wanted to say, and then we'll get on to another one of Jack's amazing questions.
I've forgotten, mate. No, I'm joking. I think we need to be careful. You know, a lot of people are expecting Poch to come in. If he comes in, everything's going to be hunky-dory. We're going to be playing that high-press game as soon as the season starts. We've got to remember, it's only going to have like a couple of weeks with the majority of the players. You know, with the Euros, then them going on holiday, and them coming back, and then the season starting. He's probably going to have about 2 or 3 weeks with the top players. So I think it will be a gradual succession because the players are there who were there previously, but the training methods have changed. The stamina has definitely changed, and they've got a bit older. So I think it will be a case. And plus, he's going to want his own players in. So I think it will be. Dave mentioned, if it's a slow start, I wouldn't be surprised if it is a slow start. But one thing Poch will have, the fans will be happy, or not happy, but they'll understand a slow start under Poch. If it's a Conte or a Potter, no chance. On
slow starts, go back and look at Pochettino seasons. The first 5 games, we never ever started well. Never ever. It was from 5 games onwards where we really kicked on. Yeah. So, Pochettino coming in, and I want to hear, if he does come in, I want to hear people getting on his back after the first 5 games because it's always been the same under Poch. But look, we have 3 super chats to get to here, and then we'll get on to Jack's question next. Great point, though, Bob.
I'm just gonna get a drink, guys. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Bob. Yet again, another one from TK. Very generous of you, TK. Big yourself up, pat yourself on the back. Thank you very much for supporting the Irish Hotspur. He says, I'm going to be opening the bubbly when Winks, Sissoko, and Dele are sold. Make my summer. Yeah, I don't even know, TK. I think I might buy like a nice Chimay or something like that. Get a little frozen glass and just enjoy my night. Maybe watch a bit of a Disney movie with the lady.
Why not put the ice cubes in the glass? You know what I mean? Chill the glass with the ice cubes. Let it chill. Then you get the nice poured bubbly on top, man. And when the glass is chilled, the bubbles always taste better. Trust me.
Yeah, I like to leave the glass in the freezer.
You need to get the glass on ice first as well, Jack. Yeah, if you're going to do it right, you know what I mean? You may as well sit there in your tighty whities with your chilled glass, with your champagne in it, and just, why not even have a smoke? Why not enjoy life knowing that we don't have to go through that stress of Winks, Sissoko, Moon Boots, Mr. Anonymous, players like that. Big up TK, love the joke, my man. Always bringing the humour along with him.
We have Maria Williams here. He says it's too soon for Poch to come back. He hasn't learned enough from his mistakes. Don't forget he did make those. Maria Williams, I mean, you are kind of bringing us back to earth here in a sense. He did kind of fall from grace. He did kind of had enough. He kind of had a fit with the players, had a fit with the club, but the club messed up and he did as well. And but it's time to bring back our brother, so to speak. Our family member. And but Maria, I think in a way you are right. You are bringing us back to earth here.
Yeah, Maria with the slam dunk there, bringing us all back down to reality. Maria, Poch did make mistakes, but hopefully he's learned from them. Hopefully he's a year or two wiser, older, and more demanding. To be honest with you, that's what I like to see. It'd be great with him coming in. I was going to say cradling, the likes of Winks and Dele Alli's balls and all, but that's probably too rude. But, what I'd like to see him is be a bit more stricter and demand more on the bigger occasions, but also still have that man management style. Henry, do you want to have a say on Maria's comment? And by the way, just before Henry does, thank you so much, Maria. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. And I hope your evening's going well. And great super chat. Henry, do you want to have your say on Maria's super chat?
Yeah, I mean, she makes a very good point, and like Jack said, it kind of does bring us down to planet Earth. But it's just, do you think he's learned from the mistakes? Do you think he had a bit of time out of management? Do you think he's thought about things again and gone back into PSG? Let's not forget he actually won 2 trophies at PSG. Yep. I know he did finish runners up, but he has actually experienced the trophy. But I don't want to quickly just change the subject on it. I see a lot of people in your comments are mentioning Sky. Sky Sports are one of the worst sources when it comes to news. 2 or 3 years ago, fair enough, Sky Sports were very good. They've reported Harry Kane handed a transfer request in, which is not true. He has said to Levy behind the scenes he might want to leave, but he hasn't put a request in. The next thing they tell us Roberto Martinez is going to be the manager. It's all to do with their bet system. I'll tell you how it goes. They say they put a report out which says Martinez is going to be the manager. Then on Sky Bet, his odds massively dropped. You chunk a load of money on it, thinking it's going to happen. It doesn't happen. Who's the winner? Sky are always going to do that. They're absolutely the only two reliable sources that I use are Alistair Gold and Fabrizio Romano. Anything else on Twitter, they're just doing it for vibes and they're just doing it to get clout. Sky Sports are absolute crap. But yeah, appreciate the just going off subject, it just grinds me because everyone in there saying Sky Sports is the third-rate hacks with no qualifications, just unemployed candy.
I fully agree. I fully agree. But if anyone from Sky is watching and you want a real fan on who speaks real, none of this polished crap, get me on. I'll tell you how it really is at our club. Why not take that opportunity? But I agree with Henry. You need to book up your ideas, Sky Sports. You really do. We can see through you. We know what you've been doing. We can see through you for years. YouTube was finally giving us the platform to expose you. So,
or get someone from Sky. Get someone from Sky on here and let them justify themselves. That'll
never happen. I'll tell you why after. But that'll never happen. But big up Maria Williams coming with a clothesline out of nowhere. Big up Maria Williams. 3 more super chats to get through quickly, and then we are going to get on to more Jack's questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan Stevens, thank you very much for yet again another super chat. He says, let's not forget Poch's signings under Paul Mitchell compared to Steve Popeye were night and day. We did a good scout. We need a good scouting team. I mean, Jordan, it really does actually sometimes, the manager can really only do so much with the players he has. There are managers that can do master strokes with certain players, but really it does come down to the director of football and the way that the money is spent and where the club is going. And so you're absolutely right, Jordan. We just need someone else besides Popeye.
Big up Jordan Stevens, dropping truth bombs as usual. Absolute legend, and I hope you're keeping well, my man. Bob, work away.
Regulon, Højbjerg, Ndombele, Bale. Who else? There's just a few that have come in under Hitchin. We need to, sometimes look at the good he's done as well.
I agree with you secretly, Bob. Yeah, on that. I think sometimes the managers haven't actually made the best of the players brought in, because the players that we did bring in were actually being looked at by Real Madrid, Manchester United at the time, and so in a way, Steve Hitchin, he can be an easy one to make fun of, and I think he is worth making fun of, but he has actually in a way pulled out some pretty clever moves, considering he is still working under Darth Vader.
Even
the documentary probably. Sorry, go on. Sorry, mate.
No, I was just going to say, Doherty, when he was actually at Wolves, it was a very good buy. It's not their fault. The manager haven't got the best out of him, because apart from
it's not his fault. The manager used him as a right back instead of right wing back, and
instead of Trent, I think he got second amount of goal contributions in the league the season before. So that's actually good business from the club. It's just like you said, Jack, and like Bob was about to say, the managers haven't got the best out of him. But
I do feel sometimes he's done. Of course, he's made mistakes, but like I say, it's facts. It's not hearsay. It's not allegedly. It's facts that we were close. He did his bit. He brought the players to the club and said, "Here you go, Levy. Here's Skriniar. Here's not literally, but not physically, but here's Skriniar. Here's Grealish. Here's who else? Bruno. Do your bit. There you go. I've done my bit. I've recruited them to I've sold Tottenham Hotspur to these players. Now do your bit, and it's Levy's let them down. So I do sometimes think it's kind of fashionable to pick on Hitchin.
It's the scapegoat to blame.
That's it. And a documentary didn't help. When your head scouting person says, "I don't like transfer windows," that didn't help. Yeah,
100%. Big up Jordan Stevens. Great super chats backing great debate as well. Just 3 more super chats to run through, so we'll get through them there quickly. Jack, take it away.
Yeah, Dark Sun G being very generous again. Dark Sun G, please, if you haven't already, please physically, give yourself that pat on the back, for all this generosity. Absolutely. I hope that we can change, and if players don't do well at Spurs after 2 to 3 seasons, we can ship players out like other big clubs. Look at Chelsea. I think you're right, Dark Sun G. We need a bit more of that ruthless mentality. Sometimes we, and I'm absolutely guilty of this, of being a little bit too kind to the players, trying to see the best out of them, trying to think that, they still have time, they still have potential. But, if we want to be a big club, we need to be a bit more ruthless, and we need to think quicker. We need to think sooner. And then another super chat from Matthew Collins here. Big up, Matthew Collins. How you doing?
Big up, my fellow protester.
Fellow protester, Matthew Collins. Big up yourself. He says, "Hi, David. I always find your content awesome. Keep it going. Hello, Bob and Jack. Come on, you Spurs. Ayo to Bob and Jack. Come on, you Spurs."
Big up, Matthew. What a legend. Thank you so much, my man. Really do appreciate it. And another legend here. Thank you so much for the 2 super chats there, Dark Sun G21. Absolute hero. Any stats on Pochettino for me? Fire them in, Dark Sun G. I know you're a man of stats and calculations and everything else. Also with a bit of banter. So I like your jokes as well, my man. Sorry, Jack, take it away.
Yeah, he says with David Luiz and Willian, they let them go. So, I mean, I agree. Arsenal, that's the one thing maybe I would give Arsenal fans over Spurs fans is, they can be a bit more brutal. They can be a bit more, maybe overly brutal, almost so blind, as we kind of commonly say. But, at least they don't kind of stand kind of mediocrity in the way that we do sometimes. And that is kind of one thing I would give them credit if I were to give a scummer any credit at all. But you're absolutely right, Dark Sun G.
He's about Chelsea, isn't he? About Chelsea.
Oh, yeah. Actually, no, you're right. Sorry about that. Sorry, they went to Arsenal, right? They sold them off to the scum of Arsenal, which is absolutely brilliant job by Chelsea.
That's why I got Arsenal, Chelsea's graveyard or Chelsea's nursery. But big up for the super chats. Absolute legends. And we'll take this one as well, just quickly, and then Jack, fire away with the next question as soon as you're finished. As soon as this super chat is finished.
Yeah, absolutely. He says, TK here, yet again, another super chat. Very generous of you, TK. He says, we got to start acting like a big club. Poch got to take cup competition seriously. Come on, Harris Army. Going to have my Ben & Jerry's now. See you. Absolutely, TK. You deserve that Ben & Jerry's with the generosity you've shown. Let me know what it is. If it's the Americone Dream, if it's a pistachio.
Cookie,
I'm kind of already the cookie.
Cookie dough.
Cookie dough is legendary. They do have the best brownie. Cookie dough.
Basically, TK, what we're asking is you're making all of us jealous salivating here at the mouth, or my mouth is watering thinking of a tub of Ben and Jerry's. So basically what we're asking you to do is let us know before you go what sort of tub of Ben and Jerry's you're really tucking into, my man. Great super chat. I really do appreciate it. And I agree with you. We need to start acting like a big club. Thank you so much, everybody, for the super chats. You know, you really are supporting the Irish Hotspur. I keep them coming in. I will keep getting everybody's comments up. But Jack, take it away, my man. Fire the next question at us.
Absolutely.
Give it to Henry or Bob, because I've been speaking a lot, so we'll give it to Henry or Bob. We're quite conscious on getting Henry or Bob.
I think we'll give this one to Bunky here. So with the appointment of Pochettino, is the appointment of Pochettino Levy's trump card, you know, so to speak, to convince Kane and Sonny to stay? And could it also be maybe one of Levy's trump cards to maybe try to win back over a large percentage of the fans that are maybe kind of finally starting to listen and hear kind of Levy out, Enoch out message? Maybe he wants to just try to win back over that silent majority back over again, Bunky. I mean, what do you think? Is it his trump card?
Go on, I'll let you go first, Bob.
Bunky's saying, unfortunately, people will fall for that, which is unfortunate. I don't think bringing in a manager who the fans have a liking to and an emotional bond with should be enough to overlook the fact that we're going to sell our soul, sell our history, sell our tradition, sell Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. It shouldn't do it. I can see past that and continue to protest whenever we need to. But I can understand why it would be enough for some people to think, you know what, okay, let them go. It's not just bringing about Poch in, and me and Henry keep on saying, everyone keeps on saying, it's not just bringing in Poch. There you go. That isn't enough. It's doing everything else around it, making sure you're backing him, making sure, the famous quote, making sure you get the furniture together at the same shop to put in that lovely house, because otherwise it's just going to be a waste. If it's not going to be backed, I love him so much that I don't want him back. And I said that first thing this morning on Twitter, and people understood and agree with that. So of course, there's always an ulterior motive with Levy. Unfortunately, there's always an ulterior agenda in the back with whatever he does, and for me, there always will be. Whatever he does, I'll always think, what's his ulterior motive? Because the way he shit all over us, you know, to constantly tell people, you know, the trust that no, we've got nothing to do with the ESL. No, nothing. And to sit there in a cold, dark room with their little laptops and checkbooks for months on end, sign a little document and turn around next morning and say, "There you go, fuck you lot, it's done." Nah, bringing Poch back isn't enough. There's a lot more that needs to be done, and it certainly won't convince me. But I can understand how it will convince. And I'm not calling him out or anything. I understand, because, like I keep saying, the love of Tottenham Hotspur from an individual varies. You know, because of age, because of generational, because of how much they see him. So for me, not that I'm better than anyone, but for me, bringing Poch back isn't enough for me to overlook that just yet. There's a lot more. He has to do a lot more.
It's a strong point from Bunky, and I'd love to know what Bob thinks later. Get his opinion on it. But Henry, is this a clever trump card, played by Levy here to maybe win Son and Kane back over, and then also maybe win over kind of that large majority of the fans that kind of just go wherever the mainstream follows?
I agree with Bob. I think it would just be paper over the cracks. It would be bringing Poch back would enlighten the fan base, and we kind of would unite a little bit, I guess, because it's the man we all love. The best manager we've had in the Premier League. Title challenges, UEFA Champions League final. The closest we've been to effectively being an elite club was under the Pochettino days. When it comes to potentially keeping Kane and Son, they're only going to stay if they actually see a rebuild. And I'm talking about statement signings. You go out there, you buy Jack Grealish, you buy a Skriniar or a Demiral, the Turkish up-and-coming centre-back. You go out there and buy someone who's going to make a difference, not just squad players. That we 100%. Go, okay, Pochettino, right, needs impact now. There's no point buying a player who's going to be good in 2 or 3 seasons, because 2 or 3 seasons, Kane will be 31. pushing 31. We need if he brings Jack Grealish in, a marquee signing, that would be and Poch comes back. I think Kane could stay, but his mind's elsewhere. You saw it on the last day, walking around the King Power Stadium after a decent 4-2 win, which we all thought, let's be honest, we thought we were going to get absolutely slapped. Leicester had the fans. It was away. Leicester, okay, all we had was really finishing above the scum. We knew West Ham were going to beat Southampton deep down, didn't we? Let's be honest. And you saw him walking around. His heart's not in the right place. And then when he goes to the cameras and he's hugging Son,
Ali and Son,
you haven't got to be a brain surgeon or a rocket scientist to know that he wants to go, regardless if he has or hasn't handed in a transfer request. His heart is elsewhere. So unless you come in with serious money, like I'm talking a war chest, there's 200 million. You go buy a playmaker, you go buy a centre back, you go buy it's not even that smart business. Donnarumma, free transfer. There's 200 grand a week. There's your long-term replacement for Hugo Lloris. Skriniar, you go buy Dele Alli, you've got 2 quality centre backs, and you go buy Jack Grealish, and then you've got a spine. You know, Joe Mourinho's prime years, you had Makelele, Terry, Drogba,
Basuma,
Basuma from Brighton. Even the relegated teams, you're bringing Lookman from Fulham. You're bringing Anderson from Fulham. Okay, he's from obviously Lyon, but played in some. Even Sheffield United have got a couple of good talents.
Sander Berg, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Look at Leicester. They've just signed Samore from Lille. Like, fantastic business. Their recruitment, Yuri Tillemans, Harvey Barnes, James Maddison. Meanwhile, Eric Lamela, Musa Sissoko, Moon Boots, Eric Dyer. It's non-comparable.
But Lamela scores a Rabona every 4 or 5 years, Henry. Get over it, mate.
Just quickly, a few super chats, and then I do actually have a genuine question for Henry and for Bob too. Actually, we'll just take these super chats here.
Yeah, so Jeremy Smith here. Big yourself up, Jeremy. He says there was only one man that didn't make mistakes, and they crucified him for it. I mean, Jeremy, you're bringing us back to earth here again. You know, kind of like Maria. You know, we gotta be quite wary of the people that are in charge at the end of the day. And so you're absolutely right, Jeremy. Big yourself up with the super chat. Very generous of you. And then TK, Jeremy. He says chocolate fudge brownie. That's going to be the Ben and Jerry's for tonight. Bob, spot on. See you guys. You know, chocolate fudge brownie. That's good take. That's good taste. You know, but you've been so generous. I think you might need to finish that pint and then save another one. Maybe finish, you know, half of another one. You know, maybe the chocolate chip cookie dough or something like that. Because I think you definitely deserve 2 pints today, TK. You've been very generous. So big yourself up.
Yeah. No, I 100%. James Smith, thank you so much, man. I fully agree with you. Fully agree with that comment. TK, you know, you go and enjoy your chocolate fudge brownie, my man. I'm jealous. I'm not going to lie. It's my favorite one.
We got another one yet again from Dark Sun G. Another one that deserves a couple of Ben and Jerry's pints as well tonight. He says that youngster at Sheffield who scored against Everton has the same amount of goals as Lamela and has more goals than Mr. 33 Moon Boots, Mr. 33 Moon Boots, and Mr. Passion. LOL. I mean, you can't say better. He took it quite well, that goal. And, you know, it was his first game. I think it was his debut game, as well. Yeah. And so, I mean, it just really shows, especially when you're playing for a team like Sheffield, who have nothing to play for.
And he absolutely loved it, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did. I did tell you though, Dark Sun G would go off and get an out stat or something. I did tell you. Big up, Dark Sun G. Absolutely love it, you know. And 100%, I love it. You're exposing some of these players, you know what I mean, which they should be. You know, their performances should be scrutinised. So big up, Dark Sun G21. I really do appreciate it.
That report, that comment, just check the THFC report just quickly. I know it's not a most reliable source, but breaking news. Daniel Levy is confident he can pull off the Pochettino sensational return to Spurs. Poch is willing to come back, including potentially resigning from PSG if it's the worst result. Both parties have held talks today over the phone and apparently met up in person.
I absolutely love it. Return of the match. He's magic. Come on. Return of the Mac. He's back. Come on, let's do it. Happy days.
I might not have been too soon with that thumbnail earlier.
No, you might not have. You might not have. Believe me, Bob. As soon as that happens, that thumbnail will be breaking out. You got to believe me on that. Just quickly, Jack, what was the question again that you asked the boys? I just want to have my quick say on it, and then I do have a quick question for Henry and Bob.
Well, I mean, consider maybe just this, maybe even the more of the confirmed news kind of coming in, or supposedly confirmed news. I mean, was this a bit of a trump card played by Levy, David? I mean, is this kind of Levy's trump card to, win back Sonny, win back Kane, win back kind of that majority fan base that kind of go wherever the mainstream goes? Is it kind of a clever trump card played by Levy here?
Yeah, look, for me, I think look, anyway, regardless whether he comes in or not, it's a genius PR stunt by Daniel Levy, trying to get everyone in to believe, the season ticket renewals are coming up. By the way, may I just say, anyone that, has a season ticket, don't let the ENIC out pressure you to not get the season tickets, because the last thing I want is for you to not renew it, and then you're back in line behind another 30, 40, 50,000 other people. So keep your season tickets and go to the games, because ultimately people are just going to take your seat anyway. So you may as well go to the game, but just make your voices heard at the game. It is a trump card. It's genius. It gets the fans believing. It also kind of, it will get Son and Kane to stay in my eyes. I do believe that, especially Son. And to be honest with you, I've already said it. I do think it'll completely quell the ENIC out movement. I really do. There'll always be hardcore people. I'll still be ENIC out until I see changes and see trophies delivered and see that they have the club's best interest at their heart. At the same time, like I said, if it doesn't happen, we've already had one person in the comments say it. He's going to the ENIC outside if it doesn't happen. Yeah. So it's a dangerous game Daniel Levy is playing with right now. And like I've already said before, you better have that London Fire Brigade on standby, because if it goes his way, kudos, fair play to him. He's pulled the rabbit out of the hat. Maybe he got in contact with Harry Potter, said, "Give me a few magic tricks," and this is what he told him to do. Who knows? But he's pulled the rabbit out of the hat. If it doesn't happen, people are going to be so angry at him. People are going to be so angry.
And he's got something.
Is it a trump card? Yeah, Henry, go ahead with it, lad.
So a very, 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 very reliable source. The Marzio, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Yeah. Poch is going to leave PSG tomorrow.
He's magic.
It's happening. It's happening.
I've tweeted it out, and I've clicked on the Marzio. I've copy and paste the whole thing into Google Translate and translated it. Yeah. It's all in Italian, obviously, and he's put Tottenham target Mauricio Pochettino is ready to leave Paris Saint-Germain due to self-resign. And then he's put Real Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain are considering moves for Antonio Conte. I guess it's whoever is going to offer the most money will get him. So according to Di Marzio, who's normally legit, because him and Fabrizio Romano are basically on par. They work together very well. So I would imagine over the weekend, Sunday, bank holiday Monday time, it will be announced that Poch potentially will be back in the reins.
I hope we're not getting excited and then he does one on us and ends up being announced at Madrid. I'd be absolutely bulling. I really would, because I know he's always wanted the Madrid job. Yeah. I'm actually surprised that United didn't even try and throw their hat in the ring, because they've always been an admirer of Poch. So I'd be very surprised if United didn't throw their hat in the ring. Let us know what you think. Do you think he's coming to Tottenham? Do you think he's going to Real Madrid? Let us know. And why not do it in a super chat? Just something you were saying on Harry Kane there, Henry. And Bob, we'll get your answer on this, and then we'll get Jack's, and then we'll get another question off Jack as well, because I am conscious I do want to get through Jack's questions. I know you were saying about Harry Kane as his mind dead set on leaving, but do you think maybe that is because he can't see where we're going from here? Yeah. Do you think maybe if the project and the plan is put in front of him, he could stay, because he does love the club?
Yeah, let's be honest, this club is his life. His brother's his agent, who's a Spurs fan. His dad used to take him to all the academy games when he left Arsenal at the age of 10. This club is him. But it gets to a point in your life where, do you want success or do you want to keep being loyal? At the end of the day, if we don't get Poch and we bring in Harry Potter, Graham Potter, whatever you call it, would you blame him if he left? Would anyone actually blame him if he went to Manchester City?
No.
Would anyone have any bad blood? If he goes to Chelsea, fair enough. It would be another Sol Campbell situation. But if he goes to Man City and wins the Premier League, does anyone actually blame him? This club, he's always been promised progress year after year. We're doing the next thing. We're getting the stadium. We're getting naming rights with British Airways or whoever's going to name right the stadium. We're bringing big Anthony Joshua deals. We're bringing the NFL to the stadium. We're getting more money. But in reality, the team's going backwards. You know, people would argue Jose Mourinho got the best out of Harry Kane. When Pochettino had him, we had an actual spine. You know, we had Dembele, Vertonghen, Son, Kane. We had an actual squad. Now we've just got individuals. So Kane's got to be sitting there and going, right, if we bring back, because let's be honest, he's on social media. He's probably read a lot of the reports saying, look, Poch is coming back. He's probably on the blower now to him, saying, look, if you come back, what's your plan? You know, they were very close. He went to his house after he got the sack. Because you've got to remember, the scum Daniel Levy, he didn't even get a chance to say goodbye. He had to write it on a whiteboard. You know, he's probably gone, right, okay, what if you come back, what's your plans? And now we've got to be thinking, right, if we bring in 2 or 3 players, now he's got to be weighing it up because he thinks, would I rather win a major honour with Spurs or go to Man City, the oil club, which is funded by dodgy tax bills and Arabs that have got more money than brains? So he's got to be. You are right. If he brings back, but I
think he's got every right. You know, if I was Kane, I wouldn't be on this channel. But if I was Kane, I'm joking. Of course, I'd be here regardless. But if I was Kane, I think he's got every right to go up to Levy and say, right, mate, listen, geezer, there's a Euros thing going on at the moment. I want to go over there and win the golden boot. So I'll tell you what, I'll do you a deal. I'm going to go away. I'm going to play in the Euros and win us win England the Euros.
Oh,
while I'm gone, you get me 2 marquee signings. Well done for bringing Poch in, but now back it up. You sign 2 marquee players, i.e. Grealish and Skriniar, before I come back, because all this stuff about, it's Euros, nobody signs players. Of course they do. Of course they do. Yeah, the word gets round, and if anything, it's easier because away from the club environment, away from the managers, it's easier to tap up players when they're on international duty. So that's what I'll say. Okay, right, I'm going to go away. You show me 2 marquee players, and if I come back and you've done fuck all, I'll see you later. Back it up. Show me. It's all very well bringing Poch in, but back it up. Now back it up and get me 2 or 3 marquee players.
Just to allude to what Bobby's saying, it is true. Players do get contacted during the Euros because a year before Harry Maguire was due move to United, Pochettino or Mourinho rang him and wanted was in contacts with Maguire. Only he promised the president of Leicester he'd give them 1 more season and then he'd get his move. So Bob is spot on the money there. Maria Williams, thank you so much for the donation. No comment if you were supposed to put a comment in.
She said my message didn't show. So Maria, please. Please,
just put your message in as a normal chat.
Message in again, Maria. Yeah.
No need to put in another super chat. Maria. No need to put another super chat. We'll find your comment. Just put in whatever you wanted to put in there earlier, Maria, and we'll find you in the live chat.
Pop on.
100%. And Jack, just quickly, before your next question, my man, what do you think on the question I asked the boys there about Harry Kane? Do you think if the plan was put in front of him, it could spend to stay?
I think at the end of the day, I think Harry Kane, if the situation is perfect for him and he sees it as being ideal, I think he would, he doesn't want to make that move. I don't think he wants the limelight drawn to him. I don't think he wants to have that image still with Spurs fans. I think he might, be hopeful, and I think he might not. He might be so humble that he probably might think that there will be some Spurs fans that might hate him for leaving. But, in actuality, it'd be ridiculous if anybody did for what he's done for us. But I think he's that humble of a guy that if the situation looks ideal for him, that there is the possibility of staying at Tottenham and achieving something and still beating the Premier League record, I think he might be convinced to stay. I think he's just one of those guys that doesn't want to have to draw the limelight to him. And I think he does love his club that much.
100%. And just Maria, I'm looking out for your comment there. I haven't seen it come up. If you are listening, make sure you do put your comment in. It doesn't have to be another super chat. Just put it in the chat and I'll get it up and we'll read it out and speak about it. Henry right here. Henry with a super chat. Big up, Henry, my man. Really big up, Henry. He says, smash that like button, people. Make sure you do. There is 320 people watching. Make sure you do smash a like on the stream and subscribe on the channel. Also, I know you are enjoying this show. The numbers don't lie. I know you're thoroughly enjoying what Bob and Henry are bringing to the panel. Make sure you get over to their channels and smash the subscribe on these boys' channels. Great panelists to have on as well, may I add. The link is in the description below for both channels. All you have to do is click on it and smash the subscribe. We just quickly, we'll look to see if Maria Williams has put in a comment. Just quickly.
Come here.
That's the problem. You've got comments flying in every
second. Comments are flying in. It just says it could. Maria, just type out that whole comment again there, and I will speak about it. And Alex, the Figueiredo, big up for the super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you've got to put your comment in, just put your comment in the chat, and I will get onto it, my man. Just quickly, I'll just scour to see if Maria Williams or that have put in their comment.
What was that comment you just got up there?
Yeah, about Henry being a good panelist. Flew through that one.
Yeah, thanks for that, Carl.
Yeah, well done, Carl. Yeah, man.
Big up, Chris. Matty Hayes is in the building as well. Matty, I'd say you're absolutely delighted, my man. Pochettino coming back. I'd say you're absolutely delighted, Matty. Let me know how happy you are, my man.
He's got his screensaver on as well, isn't he? Already.
He does, yeah. He put that on earlier today, actually. He went brave, he went bold. Big up, Matty. I hope you're keeping well, my man. Alex says, just got to support the channel, the fellow Spurs boys. Big up, my man. I really do appreciate that super chat. Alex. And just quickly see if Maria Williams has put in her comment. Yeah, Bob, do you want to send over Matty the link?
Yeah, go on, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get Matty on. And Maria Williams says, also Ben & Jerry's Cherry Garcia is the best flavour.
Cherry Garcia is a very good hidden flavour.
And she also says, I said it could go very wrong if we bring Poch back and ruin all the reason we hold him so dear. No, 100% it is. It's like that thing, Maria, they always say, isn't it? You know, don't go back to your ex. There's a reason why you split up. But this moment in time, you know, there's so many parts of Tottenham that need healing. So many fans need healing. You know, if he can come in and get the club on the right course again, I'm all for it, Maria. I've never tried that flavour of Ben & Jerry's. I may check it out, though. Got
a sneaky chocolate chip in there with some cherry in it. It's very lovely.
You've got over 300 people in here, but only 158 likes. It is free to do. Just click the button and smash the like button. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe to someone's channel, and it's you put in the graph. It's not just coming on here and talking about it. It's advertising. It's sorting your thumbnail out, sorting the stream time out, making sure people are free. It's quite a big thing, content creating. It's not just this side of it, you see.
No, 100%. I fully support what Henry's saying. No matter what, you're all Spurs here. No matter what channel you're on, you know, always get onto the content creators. Make sure you always do smash a like on the stream. You know what I mean? Like I said, if you're new, smash subscribe on the channel, support them. And also, you know, if they have super chats available to them, get the super chats in. And also, you know, when the video is complete, get in. Just throw in a little thumbs up or come on, you Spurs. It all really does help with the YouTube algorithm. But most importantly, make sure you smash that like button. I want to see 300 likes on this by the time it's finished. A big up Chris Peters for the super chat as well. Absolute legend. And he says, sorry, forgot the message. We need to aim for a cup win. First and foremost. No, 100% I agree with you. I do believe Poch will come back in, Chris, and that he will start taking the cup competition seriously. Just quickly, we will get in Matty Hayes. He's absolutely dying to have his say. Let's say a big welcome to Ireland's #2 Spurs fan, guys. It's great to see him back after a week off relaxing and chilling. Every single one of us need it. But my man, Matty, thanks for coming on, and how are you, man?
Do you know what, David? This is the first time where I'm not going to give out you for calling me Ireland's #2 Spurs fan, because I am absolutely buzzing. Oh, he's coming home. He's coming home. I can't believe it. But
you think so, yeah?
Yeah. I know. I was watching there, Henry, you were saying that story from The Sun that Levy's confident. Charlie Wyatt is the man who first broke the story. So I think on this one is the most reliable source there is. And he said that Levy's confident. So it's happening, David. It's happening.
It's being brave. Matt, stop. You're getting me super excited, man.
Us being brave earlier on, Matt, kind of is paying off then. You know, with your
it is
screen and me sending that tweet. And
it's all worth it.
It's paying off.
Well, do you know what, man? I've always said you're my man for news and everything else. So can you confirm it here that Pochettino is coming back to Tottenham? Can you give 300 people watching right now? Pochettino will be announced tomorrow, Monday, like Henry was saying.
It's a big claim, but he's coming. He's coming home.
Come on.
Pochettino's coming home. I feel it. Man, I'm so excited.
Bunky's excited. Bunky's really excited.
Just quickly, I'll take this super chat from Dark Sun G21, and he says we need players that have goal scoring potential. Oh, sorry, Jack. This is your role.
Yeah. We Dark Sun G with yet again another very generous super chat. He sent in so many. Please help out Dark Sun G. But Dark Sun G, pat yourself on the back for yet again another generous super chat. He says we need players that have goal scoring potential in the defense and in the midfield. Other big clubs have those. Gundogan, I believe, Zuma, KDB, Kevin De Bruyne, Chilwell, Castagna, and more. I mean, definitely with Zuma, he has a huge aerial presence in the box. Kevin De Bruyne, I mean, I don't know if you can find another Kevin De Bruyne really anywhere, but absolutely, we do need some definitely a bit more quality in scoring from the midfield. Maybe a Souček, who can make that late running in box or late run inside the box. But absolutely agree, you need someone who can score from the defense and in the midfield, because we definitely are lacking in that department.
100%. Big up Dark Sun G21, man. Really do appreciate the super chat, and I agree with you. We need more goals coming from defence, whether attacking set pieces, attacking corners and stuff like that, and we need more contributions from the midfield. Couldn't agree more, Dark Sun G21. Big up. I really do appreciate it. Look, Jack, since we're all kind of on stream and things are kind of taking a new course, I would like to ask everyone on the panel, their thoughts now that Pochettino, it is looking like he's returning home. But Jack, we're going to start with you, and then we'll work our way right round the panel. Jack to Henry to Bob to Matt. Jack, how are you feeling, man? Are you happy?
It's kind of like you said, it's kind of romantic. You got the butterflies inside. You kind of don't want to believe that, the lover that you broke up with, the one that you knew was better than you, in every way, but you had to end it off because, you weren't right for them. And now they're coming back to you, and that's Pochettino. And so I am a little lost for words almost in that sense, but, he seems like the one who will win over a large majority of the fan base. It is kind of, in a way, I'm a little worried it is kind of a clever move by Levy on the PR stunt. I think it will kind of silence a lot of the Enoch out, Levy out brigade. But then again, if it guarantees trophies, if it guarantees, that lovely romantic relationship that we had with Poch before, where he kind of gets the most out of the players, gets the most out of the youth, and he builds on what he had before. And if he can kind of speak to Levy a bit more seriously, a bit more with the big man attitude, and ask for more things, ask for backing up, ask for reinvigoration of the squad, I mean, this couldn't be a better situation. So, but I really am lost for words.
No, 100%. Beautifully put, man. Beautifully put. Henry?
Absolutely buzzing. I mean, I put a video on Twitter earlier of me dancing to Kanye West and Chris Martin, saying that he's coming home. I think he got like 12, 13k views very quickly, but the only I'm very happy. I just want him to get backed. He's probably called up Jesus Perez and said, "Look, let's get the boys back together. Let's get the backroom staff and let's try and keep hold of Harry Kane. But we need a serious clear out. None of this same manager can get water into wine with Dele Alli and Eric Dyer, Ben Davies, Sissoko. The whole lot. You need." Whether it takes 2 or 3 windows, we just need to see progress and a plan. Luis Campos is a free man. Yeah. This man is one of the best directors of football in the world. If you don't get him, you bring in Ralph Rangnick. Get someone who's got the same passion and the same drive as Poch, so we can do the journey together. Rather than bringing in some absolute clown, we haven't got a clue what we're doing, and Poch is trying to juggle up 5 or 6 different things. But it is fantastic news. I mean, when Di Marzio, how you pronounce his name, one a very, very reliable source like Fabrizio Romano. If they normally say it, it's 80-90% going to happen. But getting back in that stadium and singing his magic, it is going to be goosebumps.
100%. And Chris says here, get your super chats in and smash the like, support the Harris Army. Yep. And not only support the Harris Army, support the Pochettino Army. We're all here, all out in force right here, right now this evening. So, make sure you do get the super chats in and smash the like and that on the stream. Bob, what's your thoughts, man?
Absolutely. I think Wesley summed it up. Bringing Poch back isn't isn't the end. It needs to be a bit more. Absolutely buzzing, mate. I'm so excited. I can't stand up. But like we'll keep saying, bring Poch in, but back him. Give him what he wants. Make sure the vision is shared. He had a vision before, and it wasn't met. It was met by the players, by the fans, by the tea lady, by everyone apart from the board. The board need to get onto that Poch bus this time round, and they need to do it together. Because if they do, we could go back to that place where we were 1 or 2 players away from being serious champions, and hopefully we can get back there and actually invest this time round. And like I say, we need marquee signings this time round. And if Poch is coming back, you think they've had that conversation with Levy, and hopefully it's good news all the way around. But I'm so excited, mate. I can't get up just in case I poke the missus in the eye.
No, 100%. 100%. I'm so happy. I'm going to let Matt have his say. I'm going to have my say, and then we are going to go back onto some more of Jack's questions. But Matt, look, more than anybody, this man right below me, he needed it more than most. I could feel it. I could sense it. He was starting to get disillusioned with Tottenham. Everything else, maybe a bit with the channel. But this guy needed it more than most, and I really does hope it happens for him, because I want everybody watching right now to tell Matt how great he really is. Tell him how much you really do appreciate him, the work he does on his channel, because he needs it now more than ever. He needs the backing of all of us. But Matty, how happy are you with the Pochettino news, my man?
Well, first of all, thank you for those kind words, David. I appreciate it. This is a game changer. I've been saying for the last month that there's no name in this managerial race that excites me. It's full of a lot of managers who are, I'll take him or he'll do. And the main targets we were looking at were ones that I know a lot of the fan base didn't want, but Pochettino is the man that made me fall in love with football. Like he genuinely is. Like, from being a Spurs fan under Villas-Boas, sure, was maybe 12, 13 years of age or whatever. I was 14 or 15 when Poch took over. And when I really, really started getting into football was watching his Spurs side going out on a Saturday afternoon, beating Bournemouth 4-0. The next week we're beating West Brom 4-0. And it was these incredible performances of playing football the Tottenham way and being exactly what Tottenham is. He built up this incredible, incredible team that I think it will be tough to emulate, but he is what has made a lot of people love Tottenham in the last 5 or 6 years. And to lose him in the way that we did, and to have so much of the tradition and the core of this club ripped out by Jose Mourinho, by Daniel Levy and his recent decisions, this feels like such a step in the right direction. And the confidence and the love that we had for this club that was fading so quickly, I think is going to come back in abundance as we see this man who, again, epitomizes what Tottenham Hotspur Football Club is about as he steps back into the dugout. The future of this club looks bright again, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. And let's not kid ourselves, it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough. This painful rebuild that he was talking about may only be getting started now. He has a massive job in his hands, but the last time Tottenham were in a situation like this, we brought in a man and he fixed it, and it was this man. And he's going to do it again. And the one hope I have is that Daniel Levy will realise the mistakes he made last time, and he will put his money he'll put his hand in his pocket, and he'll throw that money at Mauricio Pochettino, let him sign the players that he wants to sign. And this could be the beginning of something really special for Spurs. And I'm getting so excited. Like I hate how excited I am, because it's not 100%. There's still, as there always is with everything, the chance for these things to fall apart. But I'm fully in this. As Bob said, I've got my screensaver. Where's my phone? Oh, I lost my phone in all the excitement. I got my screensaver. It's Pochettino. It's been Pochettino all day, and I'm ready to have my heart broken. But I'm in this. I think it's happening.
No, don't break his heart. But don't you think, Dave, as well? What a public acknowledgement, an apology, and a hands up. I've fucked up by Levy if he does bring Poch back. Finally admitting that he cocked up.
Well, even if what he just said is true, even if what he just said is true, like the whole idea of like he'll either pay out the PSG contract, or if he can just convince Poch to, if he does it, the whole idea if he's saying I'll do it at all costs, that really shows he's regretful. That really shows he's regretful. If he says I'll do it at all costs.
Even bringing him in, even the act of bringing him back, without even issuing an apology, it kind of says that really. Big up Stephen Heslop. He says he's magic. Mauricio Pochettino. Come on, Stephen. Absolutely love it. Everybody else, keep getting your super chats in. For me, look, I'm absolutely delighted the man is coming back. Even if he doesn't come back and win trophies, at least if he comes back and steers the club right on the right path again, in the right direction. He called for it before he left. He wanted to rebuild. You know what I mean? And it's about time now that we finally give it to him, because I believe And I've said this all along, I do believe that Levy bringing in Mourinho, he looked at the way things were going on the Poch. We were scoring goals, the defence was bad. Why not bring in a best defensive manager there is, and try and he can work with defensive title-winning team here without having to spend money. What is Pochettino on about? In hindsight, bringing in Mourinho exposed everything and exposed it to the true extent of how bad it was. And now, he by doing this act, by bringing back Pochettino, he's admitted he's screwed up. And, he wants to get us back to where we are. But by God, like I've said before, he better make sure that it happens, because if not, we've seen comments already. The ENIC are going to go to the ENIC out. Matt, there's a lot of comments in here, people bigging up your channel as well, my man. Big up everybody showing Matt the love. I really do appreciate it, guys. But Jack, look, why not fire a few more questions at us?
Absolutely. So bearing Poch in mind, since he's probably, he's coming home, the Messiah is coming home, are there any players in the current squad that we currently have under Pochettino next season that you might see blossom or improve significantly next season?
So what we'll do is we'll give this question to Matt and Henry, and then me and Bob will take a different one so we can get through some of the questions.
Love it.
So Henry or Matt, do you want to which one do you want to take that one first?
Any players you guys see that are, in the current squad at the moment that might just blossom immediately?
First of all, shout out to Danny Rose. I know he's obviously left the club today, but I think Pochettino could potentially nurture Reguilon to be similar to Danny Rose. Both quick, both can put a good ball in the box, and both passionate. I feel like Reguilon, since his injury, let's be honest, the own goal he scored against Aston Villa and the performance against Aston Villa was catastrophic. But since his injury, he hasn't been the same. So it's kind of like you need to put an arm around that sort of player. He's quite, he scored the own goal. Dyer's picking him up off the floor. He needs to be nurtured, and I think Poch could potentially get more out of him, even more out of Doherty. Mourinho comes out in the press and slates his players, this and that. Poch isn't. He's more of, it was my fault, and then he'll talk to the players in quiet. Also, potentially, I know we've said this how many times, but could he potentially get more out of Dele Alli? Let's be honest, he was the man who brought him to the football club. He was the man who got him 20 goals in the first season. I know that ship has sailed for a lot of people because hasn't been the same player for the last 2 or 3 years, but we need to get rid of a lot of players. The likes of Lamela. Personally, I don't really rate Lo Celso a lot either. But I feel like, and there is one player who I think Poch can especially get the most out of, and that is Dane Scarlett. Dane Scarlett has a massive ceiling, he has a massive future, but I don't want to get too excited because we have this problem where we overexcite, and when a player flops, we get straight on their back. If you nurture him and he gets a good loan move potentially in the Championship to a good club, Harry Kane went out on loan to Millwall. I know Troy Parrott did, but it didn't work out. Someone like that, Trout, someone like that. If he gets a good loan move and comes back, you potentially got a goal machine on your hands. Another Harry Kane potentially. But I feel like Reguilon would be a standout for me. I don't know what Matt thinks.
Great shout. Yeah, Matt, who do you think in the current squad? I mean, who might just blossom immediately? Who might just completely turn around, maybe their previous form under Pochettino?
I think Reguilon is a great shout by Henry. I think he's someone who could definitely blossom. The trademark of Pochettino's time at Spurs the first time round was the attacking fullbacks. There's a potential there for Matt Doherty on the other side to do the same, but I think we need a lot more things to go our way for him to have any bit of a chance of salvaging his Spurs career. But look, when you asked the question, the first name that came to mind was Dele Alli. Ali, I was talking to a United fan at work today, and he was saying the one thing you can't deny is that Ali is an incredibly talented footballer. As poor as his form has been, as much as his attitude has let him down, no one can deny the talent is there, because he showed it for 2, if not 3 years, that he is and can be one of the best in the league. And I think what kind of went against him was when he was trying to get that form back, when he did start to show something in that game against West Ham, against Bournemouth under Mourinho, is that when he had a bad game, Jose is not going to be the man to put his hand around his shoulder. Whereas all throughout Dele Alli's development, he's had that. At MK Dons, he had Carl Robinson, who is that exact manager coming into Spurs. He had Mauricio Pochettino, who would be almost the father figure to him, as a lot of Spurs players did say about Poch. And I think having that back for Dele Alli could be the turning point for him, because if Pochettino does come back to Spurs, it's make or break for Ali's career. So either it works under Pochettino or it doesn't, and we realize, well, it's not going to happen for him again. And I said it all throughout the January transfer window that I wanted Dele Alli to go on loan to PSG because, well, they were in for him. It looked like a realistic deal, and he could go to the French league and have a bit of a rekindle that form and get what I kind of describe as a false sense of confidence. Is that he's playing really well and having good performances, but it's against lesser opposition. But it's a sense of confidence nonetheless. And then Pochettino was appointed there, and I said, well, now that's the last place we want him to go, because if he goes to PSG and spends 6 months with Pochettino, he's going to want to stay there. He's going to want to go there on a permanent deal. But now we have the potential of Dele Alli working under Pochettino at Spurs again, and I think he is a player who really, really could turn his career around, and the sky is the limit for him. It really is.
Absolutely, beautifully said.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
I just want to say, don't be surprised if Tanganga gets a bit of a role as well. We've got to remember, under Pochettino, with Kyle Walker, Vertonghen, Alderweireld, and Rose, we had the best, back four in the league for a couple of seasons in a row, and that was Poch bringing them together and making them play better. So, don't be surprised if Tanganga comes on. I know it's going to be very hard because he's out for a bit of time, so he might not be prominent at the beginning of next season. But I think he has worked. It's a bit of a myth that we're not as strong in defence under Poch. We had the best defensive record for about 2 or 3 seasons running, or one of the best. So don't be surprised if Tanganga gets a bit of a role in centre back or possibly right back. But I do believe he is better at right back, like you said, Dave. So Tanganga for me.
We got a super chat in here from Stefan Blois. He says, get Poch to bring Verratti. Imagine him at Spurs. I mean, that is practically the Ferrari. That is the Ferrari of, partnering pivot kind of players. He is absolutely, most of the time, I would say, on his best game is undoubtedly the best, double pivot kind of central midfielder in the world.
The thing is, I was going to say, just quickly, go on. I was going to say, someone like Skip as well. He's good at developing young players, and Skip has a massive future. If you
he loves Skip. He always used to give him minutes at the end of every game and all.
Exactly. Skip alongside Højbjerg, that's like Wanyama and Dembele. And let's not forget, Bob said we had a fantastic defence, but we also had that reassurance in front of the defence. You're also bringing 100%. That back. So
100%. 100%. Couldn't agree more, Henry. Stefan Blaise, let me know what you think of Paredes. He's a player I'd really like to take in. He's an animal.
He's good.
And quickly, Chris, he put in a comment. His wife asked him, if we do get Pochettino, does that kind of what was he saying? Does that cover up for everything? The kind of last 18 months. And in a way, I don't know. It's a tough one. You could probably say because we're getting back the man we wanted in charge originally, the man we didn't want to go, but they've been exposed to an extent that they've never been exposed to before. So if it goes wrong, it's only on them again. You know what I mean? That's what I say. But big up, Chris. Jack, next question for me and Bob, man.
Absolutely. We're moving on to the next question here. And it's kind of like, we're kind of in all these hypotheticals, and this is kind of your utopia hypothetical. Let's say it's a perfect summer. Poch is hired. He's given that perfect rebuild. He's given that clear out of the moon boots, of the GPSs of the world, of the Harry Stanks. He's given that clear out. He's given that rebuild. What do you realistically see him achieving next summer, Bob? Is he getting, maybe a domestic trophy? Is he getting, UEFA Champions League spot? Is he winning the ECL, Europa Conference League? I mean, what is he going to achieve if, everything goes right in the summer?
I mean, we need to take it in steps. I mean, under him, there was a point where we were one step away from being serious title challengers, serious winners.
But just next season, do you see him getting? What do you see? An FA Cup or?
Well, where we are next season. I mean, whereas before we were one step away, we're 4 steps away from that top 4. The recruitment is obviously going to have a big. For me, next season is progression. That's the main thing: progression on the pitch, identity off the pitch, better players, better form, better mindset in games, better attacking philosophy, and progression up the league, more points, more, and ideally challenging in the cups and the league. So that's what I want to see first and foremost. Next season, all I want to see is progression all round. Happier club, a progressive club. Like I say, more importantly, get an identity. Because one thing about Jose, yes, the board pissed him about. But one thing Jose failed to do was get an identity within the football team, within the players, and Poch needs to bring that back. And like I say, it's very likely that it will do that. But progression for me, all I want to see is progression, and the amount of progression will be dependent on what kind of players and how many players we're getting.
Yeah, absolutely, Bob. I think that's well said. David, I mean, Poch, he's given the perfect summer. He's given the clear out. He doesn't even have to see moon boots before he arrives, let's say. And he's also given that rebuild. I mean, what can he achieve in maybe the first season? Or does it not really matter what he achieves as long as he's improving, the football?
Look, I'm going to lay it down straight, right? So for me, I'm one of them fans going into every season. I believe we can win the Premier League. I believe we can win the FA Cup, the League Cup, and whatever European competition we're in. I believe that should be your aim going into every season. You should always aim high, and then you can readjust your aims along the course of the season, as long as they don't go too low like they did this year. But for me, I do believe if you're serious about winning trophies and everything else, you should be going into every season believing you can pick up silverware. Is it realistic? No, it's not. But I'm deluded. So that's why I am the fan I am. Because I believe every season we can win it until we can't. What I would say is I agree with Bob. As long as we see progression, get back into the top 4, that'll be a massive start. But just short and easy answer really is I believe we can win everything at the start of every season.
Quadruple.
Dark Sun G with yet again another super chat here. He's got a good question here. He says, do you want a 1 big signing, a 1-star signing, and that's it, or 4 hidden gems? I would take 4 hidden gems. He says Pereira, I believe from Leicester City, Basuma from Brighton, Ben White, Anderson from Fulham, and others who play mid-table. I think some of those are good shouts. I think with Ben White
from West Brom.
I think. Say that again.
Is that the Pereira from West Brom he's talking about?
I think, or maybe the Pereira from West Brom. Then again, if he's talking about that one, I think that could be realistic. Yeah, that is realistic. He's actually quite lovely. Actually, that Pereira on West Brom. He actually sometimes the way he plays, he doesn't really look like he's actually a player that would be on West Brom. He kind of plays like a cheap man's Dybala actually sometimes with that left foot. But sometimes I would think the 4 hidden gems are the right way, but it's sometimes it's that 1-star signing though that can sometimes just change the entire mentality of the club and the entire mentality of the team. And then it's also something that we just need to expect more from Levy is big signings instead of hidden gems.
Just quickly, look, I'm not 100% sold on Pereira, not 100% sold on White. I would definitely take Basuma and Anderson though, Dark Sun G. Big up for the super chat, man. I really do appreciate it. And everyone else, the chat is flying. There's still 320 people watching. Make sure you have smashed a like on the stream. Subscribe not only on my channel, but Henry Wright TV, Bobspur TV, and Matt Hayes Tottenham blogs as well. Follow Jack Kineke on Twitter. And also get them super chats in. When the chat is flying, it does guarantee that we stop what we're talking about. And we get down to the nitty-gritty and get onto your comments. But Jack, next question. Give it to Henry and Matt again.
Absolutely. So the next question is we're kind of doing that the rumors have really been Pochettino versus Conte, and so maybe now is the time where we maybe try to maybe bring finally a little bit of criticism, a bit of realism to Pochettino. If it were between Pochettino or Conte, who would you have? Who would you rather have? Who do you think would realistically achieve more under a quality rebuild and clear out? And which one do you think has better skills, supportive for improving players in the youth? I mean, however you want to look at it, however you want to see it, who would you rather have, Pochettino or Conte?
No point asking Matt that.
It just happened to be.
It's Poch.
Just how the order went.
It's Poch all day long. Oh, how can you say no to this man? Look, I know he had his failures at the club the first time round. I know he had his failures at the club the first time round, but it's no surprise that all those came after 18 months of no investment from Daniel Levy. If you want short-term trophies, Conte's your man. But 2 years ago, people would have said, if you want short-term trophies, Jose Mourinho is your man. Maybe that's just not a model that suits Tottenham Hotspur. Maybe that's just not the club that we are. And look, there could be a jibe that fans make that even the best managers in the world can't win us trophies. But look, again, I haven't supported Spurs for that long. I've only been a Spurs fan 12 years because I'm a child. But it's been a long time since this club had the sense of direction and the sense of progress and a sense of having that potential to be a European superpower. It was the first time in so long, and it was Pochettino who brought that. So I don't see why you wouldn't trust him to do that again, when we are essentially on a much better footing now than we were back actually 7 years ago today when he was first appointed manager of Spurs. Conte is in his own right a fantastic manager. He's had 12 years in senior management. 6 of them he's come out with the title, a lot of the time with underdogs, with Chelsea in the Premier League, and this season with Inter Milan in the Serie A. But there's a difference between being an underdog and being Tottenham Hotspur. And again, it pains me to say it because I wish we weren't in that situation, but it is. And you know, everything that Tottenham's about, the free-flowing attacking football, the bringing the young players through, the just playing to be excited. It was a Danny Blanchflower who said, you know, you don't want to wait for your opponent to die of boredom. That's kind of what Conte's about. And 3-2, even yesterday, I would have said, yeah, I'll take that, because I didn't think Pochettino was realistic. But you know, the words we've been hearing from the club the whole way through is we're looking for a Poch-like manager. And who's more Poch-like than Poch himself? It is what this club needs. It's what this club wants, and it's what will bring this club back to where we were 3-4 years ago. Which we want to go further than that, but we need to get to where we were then before we can use that platform to propel ourselves to what we thought we would become. Henry, if you say Conte, you
100%. Just Matty. Honestly, Matty would sell ice to an Eskimo. You know, he's brilliant at what he does.
He makes it
he's
so
like that
hard.
character. I don't know if any of you ever seen that White Gold. Some of the lads from the In-Betweeners are in it. And your man sells back the L1 her own windows. That's what Matty is like. Big up Matty. But Henry, THSC Scotty says Henry wants to say Conte. I know he does.
THSC Scotty, he's actually in my stream a lot. So shout out to him. Matt makes it so hard to argue your point. The only situation I have is when Poch got to a big game management let him down. Not playing Lucas Moura in the Champions League final. Regardless if it's Harry Kane, the man, only 4 players in the history of the Champions League have got hat tricks in the semi-final. One of them's Ronaldo, one of them's Messi. 2 of the greatest players of football. The other one I think is Thomas Muller and Lucas Moura. Yeah. And then FA Cup semi-final playing Son left wing back. When you look at Conte, he's in his prime at the moment. He just won a league title with Inter Milan the year before that Europa League final. Like I said, Lukaku turned into a goal machine. You know, he got Eriksen. Everyone thought his career was over. He turned the leaf with Eriksen and he started playing good football again. The only thing is to be honest, I want Poch, but Matt's right. If you want, look what he's done.
Big up Chris Peters. Love that comment.
If you want short-term success, yeah, bring Conte in. But our question to you, all of you and everyone on the stream, would you take boring football and win the league, or would you take champagne football and finish second?
We decided to get boring football and win the league 18 months ago, and look how that turned out for us.
Yeah, no, but Jose Mourinho has been finished for about 5 years. Let's be honest. He won the Europa League because he targeted Davinson Sanchez in an Ajax team, who then we went to buy Davinson Sanchez, which is beyond me. But Conte's in his prime at the moment.
I think with Conte, I think there's one thing to be said. He absolutely turns certain players into warriors, and he turns players into absolute, bastions.
They went for a wall for him.
I mean, you see the Brozovic's of the world. You see what he's actually been able. He can turn a player's psyche, into a completely different player. He made Eriksen, he made him an outcast, and now he's using Eriksen. Even when Conte has been upset, like recently with Inter, with how the rebuild has been going, with the players he's been given, he was he's very verbally upset about it. But then he said, whatever, I'm going to win, I'm going to win the Serie A with Perisic as my left back, and it's exactly. He's that type of manager. And he's also, undoubtedly, he is the best sideline antics manager of all time. And he's also the manager that you never look in the eye twice, because he can absolutely rip anybody's head off when he, is angry enough. And he's also probably going to get the most yellow cards for any manager probably of all time, which I think is, the most respectable stat any manager can have, because it means he's fighting for the badge better than anybody. I think when even Conte sees his players put a 2-footed tackle and he almost has to get one in himself just because he has to one-up his own players like that. He is that brilliant. But I would defend Poch because of my own experience with him, like Matty Hayes, because of the romantic relationship. But to anyone just like Conte, he is absolutely the defined best version of, mixing both successful modern football, but as well as that old archaic kind of, bad attitude, professionals only. modern, kind of art, draconian kind of style as well. And I think he is the beautiful blend. And like I said, I mean, there is no better manager to watch on the sideline. I mean, he'll have you standing up the whole game.
Yeah, and just quickly before you do super chat, just quickly, it doesn't matter what manager you get in unless you invest. Step one is complete, you get Poch in. Step two, you get Louis Campos as your director of football. Then you have a strategy, then you invest. That's how you win titles. Look at Man City. They don't buy a player over 60 million. Riyad Mahrez, that was a fantastic signing. Ruben Diaz, fantastic signing. Whereas Man United are paying 80 million for Harry Maguire. There's levels to this game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Dark Sun G yet again, who says, I love how we need Bale for Bale or Bale to replace Bale and Poch for Poch.
Love it. I love it, Dark Sun G. Thank you so much, Dark Sun G. And I fully agree with him. And welcome new channel member as well, Dermot Miles. Big yourself up. If you're white or gold, my man, if you're gold, contact me for the Spurs story. If you're white, fan show will be coming as soon as Pochettino's announced. Everyone can come on and show their jubilation. Just quickly, on that question, I know I'm not supposed to come in on it, but I'm going to. The thing is with Pochettino, one thing it will do is it will unite the fan base again. It will 100% unite the fan base because although it's been a long season and it's a long season, we've had to wake a lot of people up about some of these players that they really are not good enough. I'm kind of sick of the fighting, kind of sick of the arguing. It'd be nice for it just to be like it was under Pochettino beforehand, where it's just a nice place to be. So that'd be nice. And look, we've gone from Brown-Nose Southgate, Harry Magician Potter, to now, Conte or Pochettino. Honestly, this couldn't work out better in any of our favours because, some of the names we were linked with, like Trapattoni was even mentioned at one stage. Trapattoni.
Don't use his name in my presence, please.
Come on, Trapattoni.
Honestly, right? Some of the names that were mentioned. So the fact that we now have it narrowed kind of down between Pochettino and Conte, I'm so grateful because honestly, it would have been heartbreaking going into the next season with Harry Potter, Scotty Starstruck, Trapattoni, and Roberto Martinez. As well, he's a big appreciator of Henry, who also fucked me over under the Trapattoni era. So definitely don't want him in charge. So it would have been a season that not many people would have been too optimistic for. Then Ten Hag people would have been optimistic, but would they have believed? Now that we're at a stage with Conte and Pochettino, no matter who comes in, the fans are going to have a good feeling. We're going to have a winner in charge, and people are going to believe. So either way, I'm just delighted that this managerial appointment has come down to two winners and not some of the farce names that we were mentioned with. And all them people that tried to push Harry Potter on me because of his XG should be ashamed of themselves. I'm not messing. I should be ashamed of themselves because XG, look, the guy has 4 or 5 strikers there to work with and none of them can score. What does that say? You can't coach strikers. You know what I mean? So anyone that was banding around Nagelsmann, telling me Nagelsmann was coming when I told you he wasn't, and I was trying to convince me because I had no one else to convince me with, that Harry Potter should come in because of XG. They should be ashamed of themselves because now we have 2 winners coming in, either Conte or Pochettino, and that's the best outcome of this. So I absolutely love it. And then we've just a quick super chat from new channel member, and then whoever wanted to speak there can come in.
Yeah, we have the super chat very hot and very quickly from Dermot Moyles right off the press. Thank you very much.
Oh, big up.
An instant legend for that. If Poch comes back and gets money to spend on the team, who would you like to see and buy? And how do you feel about the board? And will Harry stay now? I mean, to answer quickly, Mr. Moyles, I would say that, with Harry, I think he might be convinced, via nice Argentinian steak, served to him, Pochettino will cover the bill, cover the tip, and then he'll take him out for a bit of ice cream after. And then, maybe who knows, maybe he'll drive him home as well. And then, Harry will, he'll sleep tidy and then he'll commit to Spurs. But, I think it's hard to know what players will bring in. It's who Poch wants. Maybe, with the league on right now, a lot of players are going to be very cheap and very easy to get. And, maybe Poch has seen some of the brilliant players that are coming out of there, because believe me, there are plenty of other Wesley Fofanas to find. And so maybe that might be just to answer it. Quickly there, Mr. Moyles.
No, 100%. Big up, Mr. Moyles. Absolutely, really do appreciate it. Yeah, I do think Harry Kane will 100% say, along with Son, along with Hugo as well, he'll probably see out his contract, although he'll probably go free next summer. So, we will be keeping the core of the players that deserve to be here, in my opinion. But big up, Dermot Miles. You're an absolute legend, and I hope to see you on one of the fan shows very, very soon, my man, and put a face behind the name. And bobspur, you wanted to come in?
Skriniar, Basuma, Grealish, and a striker, Jovic. I'll be happy.
Donnarumma as well. Donnarumma.
Yeah.
We may as well get a few names off Matt and Henry as well.
Donnarumma.
Pochettino.
Get right back, lads.
Bringing
Max
Donnarumma
Aaron.
to me would be your long-term replacement. If you can't bring in Donnarumma, you look at the little goalkeeper. I can't remember what his name is.
Magnan, he already went to Milan.
He's gone
to Milan. Yeah.
I meant to message you about that yesterday, actually, Matt. Yeah, say you're good.
Look, we got Pochettino back. It's all okay.
What about Johnson? You're not a big fan, are you, Dave, of Sam Johnson?
Who?
Sam Johnson.
No, I'm a fan of Sam Johnson. Honestly,
okay.
If we're going to continue on with the defence we have, you may as well get a Nick Pope or Sam Johnson who face shots every week and manage to save them, because, it's your best chance with a defence like that. So, I'm a big fan of Sam Johnson, honestly. Even though a keeper sometimes can go down and get relegated, it's not necessarily the keeper's fault. Sometimes it's the case that the keeper's done everything he can to keep them up. You know what I mean? But with the sheer amount of shots they're facing, you're going to concede more goals. It's just that same old thing. So, no, I'm a big fan of Sam Johnson, I have to say. I'd definitely take him. But big up Dermot Miles for the super chat. What a legend. And look, Jack, we'll take one more question. We'll give everyone a chance to answer this question. And I want to give everyone a chance to plug their channels. So, Jack, fire away with the last question, my man.
Yeah, so, I could go about it two ways. I think they could be both pretty quick. So maybe if we have time, maybe we can do the other one. But I'm going to share my screen here and just take a look at the list. It's kind of going to be a manager list. And it's kind of in just case, let's say Pochettino is taken by the likes of Real Madrid. And so up this list, you have Nuno Espirito Santo. These are all the ones that we've been heavily rumored with. Roberto Martinez, Brendan Rodgers, Antonio Conte, Eric Ten Hag, Graham Potter, Pochettino, Simone Inzaghi, or Ralph Rangnick. Who's your man? Who's your guy to lead the team, to lead the club on to better things if Pochettino gets taken away from us?
Ten Hag.
Yeah,
without a doubt. Ralph Rangnick.
Go back to my screen, sorry.
Football, but he's not a good manager. He's only managed, I think, for one season where he stepped up as an interim manager. Whereas Ten Hag, let's not get it twisted, he got to the Champions League semi-final on an £11 million budget. You get relegated from the Premier League, you get 100 million. You don't get, there's not a lot of money in the Eredivisie. It's all academy stuff. So he's nurturing players like De Ligt, Nigel de Jong, Dusan Tadic, Ziyech. Who else? They've got Tagliafico, fantastic, all young players. He's nurturing all of them. If he can nurture Dane Scarlett, Oliver Skip, all the youngsters we've got, just throwing the first two names out there, the standouts, Devine, players like that. Nuno Espirito Santos, he got Wolves to a Europa League semi-final, but without Jimenez, they've been absolutely awful. Who else was in there? Graham Potter. I don't understand this hype. I've said this and I will say it again, and I will get a lot of slate for this. Sean Dyche.
I love you, Henry. Thanks for saying that. I love you. I'm your biggest fan now.
Sean Dyche is a better manager than Graham Potter. Sean Dyche, with 8 million spent, got Burnley to the Europa League. What has Graham Potter done? He took over when they were 15th. They're still 15th. Just saying that.
It's hard for Potter. It'll be hard for Potter to be a manager of a team who are finishing 15th, 16th, and then going into a dressing room, Tottenham Hotspur, and say, "Right, lads, top 4." It just wouldn't work. But what was the question again? Sorry, Jack.
Pochettino's taken away from you.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
Just quickly, big up Chris Peters, new channel member, absolute legend. Again, hope to see you on one of the fan shows. And if it's called, get in contact with my email. It's at Theirishyid, and we'll get down and do your Spurs story, my man. I'm sure you have a lot of stories to tell me, Chris. But honestly, hope to see the name behind the face soon, my man. Thank you so much. Big up the channel member. Sorry, you got the question again?
Yeah, I remember now. Ten Hag. Yeah, like I say, Ten Hag, and the fact that it was mentioned that it's going to test Tottenham's financial resolve. Like I said before, I think Ten Hag's out of all the players, out of all the managers, probably tested the result because he want to bring his backroom staff with him and a couple of Ajax players with him as well. And he's got the philosophy that will suit Levy, because it means if he likes bringing you through, which he obviously does, and make better players elite.
Gravenberch would be the standout. If we could, if he brought Gravenberch,
exactly.
What a baller!
If you're talking about a serious player,
absolutely. So that's what I think. So if it's not Poch, then certainly Ten Hag. But apparently he's got a bit of an attitude problem, hasn't he?
Yeah, or he's just a bit of like he's a bit of a cold guy. He's not not the most he's not the most charismatic, and I think that's what it is.
Yeah, good, because he won't be shining fucking moon boots arse or fucking Harry Winks hair. So
really quickly, Bob, who would
bring
Bundy?
him in right away? Perfect. He sounds even better now.
Who would Bunky pick? Who would Bunky pick?
Bunky, hold on. Well, he says Brad Pitt.
Maybe later, maybe for the future.
You're becoming worse than Will for all these gadgets.
Anybody who wants to take it over next? Anybody who's different than Ten Hag, or anybody that wants to continue on the Ten Hag love train? I mean,
we'll let Matty in next. We'll let Matty in next. Just take.
If you can't have your love in Pochettino, who would it be, Matt?
Just take the super chat here, Jack.
Oh, sorry, I can't see you because I'm sharing my screen. It says from Dark Sun G yet again. It says, I hope Valencia still want Winks to swap for Kang In Lee or Lee Kang In. I mean, absolutely. Lee Kang In is an absolute baller. I've seen him play a couple of times with the highlights. He hasn't been played a lot this season, I think, because of some of the backroom politics going on at Valencia with them selling their best players. I mean, remember, they sold Danny Parejo and he just won a Europa League. And so it is crazy things going on there. So it would actually be quite easy, I think, to get Lee Kang In into the club. And so, I hope La Liga wants Winks, because if they want that slow, unenergetic, uninspiring, sideways passing football, then he's the right man for them.
100%. Big up Dark Sun G21 for the super chat. Look, to be honest with you, I couldn't give a shit if Winks went to the South African League. Just as long as he's gone, that's all I give a shit about. But Matty, look, I know you're all dead set on Poch, but back to Jack's question: if not Poch, who?
His wife. No, I think I wouldn't take Eric Ten Hag, and I've gotten cited for this on my channel. I think with Eric Ten Hag, a lot of stuff went right for him that year. They went through to the Champions League semi-final, and we've seen in their performances in Europe ever since that it's not something they're going to be emulating anytime soon. And of course, he deserves a lot of credit for the squad he did assemble there. I've always said there was an incredible balance between youth and experience. You had the likes of Donny van de Beek, Matthias de Ligt, Frankie de Jong, David Neres, even Gravenberch, I think, was just breaking through at that time, combined with the experience and the level-headedness of the likes of Daley Blind, Dusan Tadic, and another name, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar as well. So it was an incredible squad that he built there. I'd say argue very similar to the one that Christophe Galtier has put together at Lille this season. But what you do have to remember is way before Eric Ten Hag was in Ajax and way after he'll leave, there's always going to be that system that is going to be producing these world-class players. It is a very cyclical thing with Ajax. And yes, his time at the top of that cycle brought them further than they have been in quite a while. But he's not going to have that same youth system at Spurs. We have a fantastic youth system, but I think the Ajax one is second to none, and it would take a lot for him to be able to kind of to redo what he did at Ajax with Spurs. So for that reason, I wouldn't take Eric Ten Hag. If it wasn't going to be Pochettino, I think it would have to be Conte. Despite what I said about him, the majority of that criticism for Conte was just because I wanted Henry to say Poch. But I think he's the second best option.
Was Conte on that list?
Oh, was he on the list?
I don't think he was on the list. Otherwise, I would have.
He is on the list. He's right in the middle.
No, you said it now, Henry. No backing out. No backing out. No, I said Ten Hag. You heard it here, lads. Henry Wright wants Ten Hag. But yeah, look, if it's not Poch, I'd take Conte just to see him on the sideline and be a bit of a laugh. And I think we might win a trophy or two under him.
100%.
Yeah, I agree.
Jack, super chat lad.
Yeah, sorry. Let me come back. Sorry. Bob, Will Stewart THFC rants with the super chat. Welcome to the building, Will. He says, Bob will never top me. Wahahaha. BJ free did. I mean, then again, there needs to be a rival to BJ. He can't, have the reign of alternative personalities, of Tottenham YouTube. We're all delusional. We all need an alternative personality for our content, at this point, because we all are going delusional, especially with the Poch rumors as well.
100%.
from the list here.
Big up Will Stewart for the super chat. Really appreciate it, and I hope BJ is okay, my man. And Awesome, big up Awesome in the building. He says Conte is the best. We're backing. Just quickly, So for me, before I would go with Conte. You know, for me, I think it'd be a right laugh for 2 years. I do think that's as long as he ends up stay at Tottenham. You know, things do with his style of management. He's so aggressive and full on. You know, even the board can only take it for so long. But he will deliver us success within them 2 years. He fucking won a league with Victor Moses at right wing back. You know what I mean? The guy will definitely win us a league. So 100%, I go with Conte. I can get the whole Ten Hag, or I really do get it. Would it excite me? It would to a certain extent, but for me, like that, you go down the route of bringing you know, players from the academy through, and that's the route you go with, and maybe sprinkled in with a couple of players. But no, for me, I'm at the stage now where until I get trophies in the cabinet, I'm going to want the very best people in charge that I believe can win the trophies, because I'm so starving of it, and I'm sick of all the other clubs running their mouths, to be honest with you. So it's about time we put one in and really stuck it to them. And big up Spurs squad with the super chat. Look, if you've got to put the comment in, my man, just put it in the chat here, and I will get to it and I'll read it out. But big up Spurs squad. If not, thanks for the donation, my man. Everyone else, actually, I'm going to let Jack have his pick. Jack, who would you want?
I think I would go Antonio Conte if it weren't Pochettino. If I wanted to go short-term success, which, I mean, to be honest, I'm still only so young, but I mean, believe me, like, it would be nice to win some type of, you know, Carabao Cup, FA Cup double, you know, maybe with a little, you know, Europa Conference League tossed in there as well, a little cherry on top of mediocrity kind of cups. I would be actually quite satisfied. And I think Conte, you know, almost similar to Jose's press conferences being entertaining. That man is absolutely the best, you know, sideline manager on the pitch. I cannot express it enough. I mean, he really just makes you want to just, you know, scream at the players through the TV, makes you feel like you're on the pitch, you know, yourself. He's almost like the people's man on the sideline. If, you know, whatever you're yelling at the players, he's yelling at it 3 times louder. So he really is that beautiful of a manager. But if I were being smart, if I were maybe looking for the future, I don't think Erik ten Hag is really that bad of a choice. I think he could be the manager for the future. He could be that one that wants to step up. And I mean, with Brendan Rodgers probably being very unlikely as well, I think Erik ten Hag is definitely maybe the brightest, or the next potential, you know, big manager to take over the Premier League.
No, 100%. And you know, Spurs Speed hasn't put in a comment, so I presume it's a donation. Thank you so much, my man. I really do appreciate it. I don't know where to keep going, to be honest with you, lads, because numbers keep climbing. But no, honestly, we've been here for 2 hours, 15 minutes. We've given them enough. You know, Henry, Bob, Matt, and Jack, they all have other things to be doing. I don't, to be honest with you. My missus work nights, so I can do exactly what I want. I'm a big boy at night time. You know what I mean? But I am going to end it, to be honest with you. I am going to end it. But look, before I do, I want to give everybody a chance to plug their channel. But before I do, if you want to be like Spurs Squad and just donate, or even get in a super chat, you know, if you've appreciated the stream, or if you have any last thoughts, that would be greatly appreciated. You have no idea how much it really does help support the channel. So big yourselves up. But Jack, where can everybody find you, my man?
Yeah, you can find me over at Tottenham Away. That's with Brian Daigle and Brian Ireland Stellenshire. That's Tottenham Away. Tomorrow I'll be on a show with the 2 Bryans, and I'll be giving kind of a stats analysis of all of our Spurs players that are going to be playing in the Euros, and I'm kind of going to be looking at how they'll be used for their respective international countries. And so if you're looking for that, seeing how the Spurs players will be maybe looking a lot better than they have this season for their international teams, I'd be happy to see you there tomorrow night. And they also follow me on Twitter as well. And feel free to tweet me if you couldn't send in a super chat, or if you just can't, and, you know, it's not the right time for you. I mean, believe me, we understand more than enough. And so please feel free to at me or send me a direct message, and I'd be happy to answer any type of questions or curiosities that you may have.
There you are, guys. You know, Jack, good honest guy, great contributor to the Irish Hotspur as well, and he's going to be playing a massive part in this channel. He's going to be playing a massive part in this channel over the Euros and into next season as well, with the plans that I have. So big up, Jack, and thank you for your contribution today and the questions, my man. Really do appreciate it. Henry, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you, my man?
Yes, obviously on YouTube, Instagram, it's Henry Wright TV, and Twitter, it's Henry Wright 96. I do the Tottenham or the THFC show with Tapping Tobes, Fuad, and Jenk, who runs the Spurs web. We do that every Tuesday. That's a fantastic show. So if you're interested in like banter and stats and pretty much very similar to this, crack on. But first of all, thank you for letting me come on. Whenever I come on your video, I get bombarded with subscribers, with likes, with comments. So I really do appreciate that. And obviously shout out to all the boys, Bob, Matt, and Jack, and obviously yourself. And the chat has been absolutely ridiculous. You can't keep up with it. It's constantly flowing. There's over 300 people in there. It's absolutely mental.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely insane. But honestly, guys, anyone that has enjoyed what Henry has to say, make sure you get out and check out his channel. The link is in the description below, along with all the boys' social media. Not Matt's, because Matt joined in. Matt was so happy with Poch, but I will put it in after the video ends. But honestly, guys, get over. Make sure you do subscribe to Henry. The guy deserves it. Henry, I want to say thank you for your contribution as well today. It's been amazing. Anytime you've been on, numbers have been insane. So, man, I hope to see a lot more of you on here, and everybody else get over and check it out. And let's give him 10 or 20 subs from tonight's show. Why not? Next time you're on, Henry, I will sit here and we'll pick a number and we'll get you to it. Don't worry. We'll show you the power of the Harris Army again, my man. But Bob, why don't you let everybody know where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find myself and Bunky, who's a new member now, on bobspur TV. Just doing stream. I will be doing a pre-season, off-season stream once a week. Spoke to Dave about it as well. It's going to be called Four in the Wall, and it's just going to be four YouTubers and myself just sitting there talking about anything, literally anything, Spurs related, non-Spurs related, just anything. I've got to think of a day and time, but that'll be coming up. So look out for that. Apart from that, obviously, any breaking news. Tomorrow I am actually going to my mate's house, who's a gooner, but I'm taking all my stuff with me. I know. But if there's any breaking news with regards to Poch, I'm going to be in his house with my stuff and doing some streams. And obviously, if any of you guys go on, I'll be joining you. So don't let intoxication and being at a gooner's house is going to stop me from breaking any news or joining in to any of your streams with regards to breaking news, because I'm pretty with the weekend coming up. I'm pretty sure we're going to get some form of definitive news tomorrow.
100%. And Dark Sun G21 with the super chat, he says, I hope for some no injuries at the Korean national team. 100% Dark Sun G. Look, I'm trusting you to be over there looking over him, looking after him. So Dark Sun G, if there's an injury, it's on you, my man. It's on you. I'm blaming you, because I'm trusting you to look after our guy. Everybody, do get over and check out bobspur TV. A great contributor to this channel, has been all season long. And Bob, I appreciate you, and I know the Harris Army does. Look, this guy, let's get him to 600 subs. The Harris Army, get over and subscribe to bobspur TV. Puts out great content, and his great content coming up. Like I said, the link is in the description below. Matty, where can everybody find you, my man? Even though on my channel know who you are, but where can they find you? There might be one or two. There's always one or two.
There's always one or two, trust me. You can find me at Matt Hayes Tottenham blog, as it's written down there below me. I'll be going live in a couple of minutes on my channel, talking all about Mauricio Pochettino and just falling back in love with Tottenham Hotspur. You guys, any of the four, you're welcome to join me. I put the link in the Spurs family group chat. I'd love to have you on. But yeah, Matt Hayes Tottenham blog below, as it's written. I just want to finish off on one note. I am so confident that Mauricio Pochettino will be the next manager of Spurs that I have my video recorded and uploaded already, and I just need to click that publish button. So you will find out first on Matt Hayes Tottenham blog if Pochettino is appointed. But while you are here, smash that subscribe button for the Irish Hotspur, because this man is going places and you want to be among those first couple of thousand to show him the support that he absolutely deserves. So make sure to smash that subscribe button, because you know the Irish Hotspur is going big.
No, I appreciate that, Matty. But first of all, I said it on the last stream, I gave everyone a special thank you. But Matt, I'm going to give you yours now. I want to say a massive thank you for helping me get my channel up and running. Constantly coming on it when it was a tiny channel, constantly answering my stupid questions at stupid hours of the night. Constantly giving me advice, bringing me on your channel for the exposure, everything else. I want to say a massive thank you for your contribution over the season. I really do. Honestly, I can't stress enough how much respect I have for you and the help that you've given me. So I want to say a massive thank you to you. But everybody else, It's the king of the watch-alongs. It's the place where everyone seems to be going now. Get over to Matt Hayes' Tottenham blog. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. He puts out fantastic content. The guy is always on the news. Even when he's working, somehow a video comes up. Latest news is up. So get over to Matt Hayes and get onto his channel and make sure you subscribe to it. Honestly, you're not going to regret it. Plus, you see a lot of me on there. So if you like me, you're going to enjoy it on Matt's channel. To the Harris Army, I want to say to you guys, a massive thank you for tuning in. Incredible. If there's anyone that hasn't, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I'm on the big push for 2.5k subs. It's been an amazing journey from where I started back in the last week of October to now. It's been an insane climb. Also, I want to say a massive thank you to the super chatters as well. Honestly, you guys are insane. Thank you so much. You really do keep helping me go full time. Keep helping me sitting here, producing the content, getting in contact with the guys, getting them on the show, putting the thumbnails out, and basically going full time and follow my dream. So thank you to all you guys out there. I really do appreciate it. What's coming up, I hear you ask? Well, let me tell you. So, frenemies, I'm not doing anything tomorrow unless Pochettino is announced before 4 p.m. Because after that, I'm back playing football, so I'll be at football. Skinning boys and putting them in the top of the net like Harry Kane. So, unless it's broke before 4 p.m., if it has done, I'll be straight on it tomorrow. You best believe. Saturday, Frenemies with Marcelo is coming. Sunday, and end of season player ratings with Jack and one other guest. Haven't decided who that's going to be yet. Monday will be Simon Cohen's Spurs story put out for you guys. And then Tuesday, we have an absolute corker, one I'm looking forward to, one I think many people are going to enjoy. I have Arthur, Simon, and Philip all on one stream. I'm just going to let them talk about their memories and everything else they have to do with Tottenham. It's going to be an absolute doozy of a show. So make sure you get over and check it out. But massive thank you to the panel. Massive thank you to the Harris Army. Hopefully Pochettino will be in my arms tomorrow so I can cradle him and tell him how much I love him if I can get him out of Matt's arms. Big up the Harris Army. And come on, you Spurs. I got the love for the club back. I needed this. Sorry, before we go, Matt, can you drop the link to your stream in the chat so that people can just go straight over to your stream, my man?
David, you're a hero. I'll send that in right now.
He's magic.
I'm not going until I see it.
It's there. It's there. I sent it in.
He's coming home.
Guys, the link for Matt's stream is in below. Make sure you get over. You want to see more of me. You want to see more of these guys. You want to see more YouTube content creators. Matt Hayes is the next channel to go on to. It's going to be an absolute Poch love fest. You do not want to miss it. Get over there right now and check it out. He's magic, Richard,
I'm going for a dive first.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.